Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hello, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm I'm happy. I am beat up but happy, man. It's been a little while. I was on vacation.
Indeed, you were. Either that or you were really poorly kidnapped.
No, I went down to Virginia and was at my father-in-law's house, went swimming a whole lot. Jack, I slept 2 nights in a row, 9 hours. I know. And nothing bad happened.
Oh, you say that, but you weren't looking at the news.
Okay, there was no nuclear war.
Yeah, that's true. But there might be a delayed reaction because the universe was like, that was too much time. We didn't have time to prepare.
2 nights in a row, yeah, I slept. I woke up and my wife was already out of bed. And I'm like, uh-oh, and I turned and looked at the clock. It was 7 a.m. I was like, God damn. And last night I slept, okay. Night before, okay. My wife theorizes that it's all the exercise I got because I did a lot of swimming, Jack. And it was fun. It was great. But we're back now, and it's time to talk about the news and the world around us. And oh, dear Lord.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid still.
Yeah, we might not have had a major war, but we still had some shit going on.
And something dumb going on. This world's full of idiots.
Yeah, that's mostly what I saw. I mean, in the drama world, I don't know if you watched any of that stuff. Oh my God.
I caught little bits of it here and there just by osmosis. You know, between my Twitter feed, I started following Saint Fugi, and I was like, "Oh, well, Ralph's being retarded again." And then that whole thing with Cozy, I caught little glimpses of that. Yeah, the drama community is really drama-ing it up.
Well, in this case, there's a little bit of overlap with the political world because this all stems from Nick Fuentes's America First rally that he had. Did you see that?
No, I heard a little bit about it, but
he's standing.
I didn't watch it.
He's standing there giving this speech about how the Gentiles will be the ones that kill all the Jews.
Oh, Jesus.
Because the Jews want to kill all the Gentiles, so we'll kill them first in a holy war.
Why did he say that?
Because he's a retard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other good thing to say.
That's fair.
But while he's saying all this, he has this screen playing behind him with all these weird, like fire kind of images and shit going on. It was like a parody in a movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it. He is a little bit of a parody of a human being at times.
You're not wrong.
Before we get too far deep into this nonsense, because I want to make fun of Fuentes a little bit, I want to thank Dixie Rose for a donation from a couple days ago. I did follow through on that. Thank you, Dixie. I'm not going to read it because it's a private message, but thank you for that.
Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on this Nick Ralph thing because it is just drama nonsense. Neither one of these guys is relevant to jack shit.
Yeah,
lots of people talking about it though because Nick does like to use that America First thing, and other people use that as well. I mean, Sebastian Gorka does, Trump does, and it's only related in the name.
Yeah, America First has been an expression since what, Reagan?
Keldrick, thank you. Good to see you back, Monkey. Although you being gone did save me some money.
Well, now you can give it to us if you don't want it anymore.
All you need to do now is switch to Geico, and it'll be no problem. I'm not a paid spokesperson for Geico. Although I will say this, Jack, I once did switch to Geico and saved a bunch of money. That's a true thing. Geico, give me money. So, yeah, the America First rally, Ralph is invited for some damn reason because he's on Cozy.
Yeah, I assumed that was the only reason.
Yeah. And he's told, you can come as long as you're not a drunkie. And of course, he's a drunkie.
Oh, he actually went?
Oh, yeah. They wouldn't let him in, though.
Ah.
they wouldn't let him in, and then it turns into this fighting back and forth between who knew what about a what they call a gay pedophile. I'm using their words. Apparently Nick has known this one guy's a gay pedophile forever, but the only way Ralph knows this is because he's known forever.
Fuck's sake. Why are pedos being protected these days? I don't understand that. It used to be you run them out of town.
I don't know. Because they'll take whatever little bit of support they get these days, I guess. But yeah, so it's turned into this whole he said, she said about, well, I guess she said about who knew what and when. It's just horrible. And then they were on Leafy's show the other day. Leafy is here.
Oh, he's still around?
Yeah, he's on Rumble.
Oh,
he had 5,000 people watching him talk to Ralph and Nick the other night on Rumble.
wow.
I know. I don't know. I can't explain it. I guess it's a whole lot of people like me who just like watching this shit happen.
I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Why is anyone watching all three of those clowns? Even if they are having a little circus together, how are there 5,000 people that are watching that shit?
I could not tell you other than morbid curiosity like I have, man. And I do get it because I am like that, but it wasn't interesting at all. And then you had people talking about how Ralph is having a redemption arc. Ralph is a drunk pill popper who doesn't take care of his children and knew about everything that Nick was involved in the whole time.
Oh, hold on. We got to ward him off.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah, make sure Ralph doesn't come this way.
Yeah, that's the white sage of the Ralphiverse.
Yes, that's
Jesus. Thank you, Keldrick. We live in the gayest timeline. We kind of do. Yeah. And I call it the Target timeline.
Well, everybody just wants to have their hero for some damn reason. And why it has to be one of these guys is beyond me.
Yeah, I that's what baffles me is these people have like really hardcore supporters, and I don't grasp that because they're obvious weirdos and losers, and I find Leafy annoying. I don't know much about him beyond that. He just kind of irritates me, his whole way of talking, and seems like a spurg.
The whole time he just keeps saying, "Oh, I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that person." Basically, he just kept saying, "I don't know." Like, well, why would you be the one everybody goes to? Shouldn't it? Look, I realize Jim's not around anymore, but I'm sure they could have got Matt to fire up a stream.
Yeah, I mean, at least a Jarbo stream would have been slightly funnier.
At least he would have known a little bit about what was going on.
Yeah, exactly. So there would have been like people getting references.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't know any of it, I mean, shit, I barely know anything, but that's why I don't talk about this shit because I don't know much about it. I just know these people are
fire up a stream.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
Shit. Anyway, like I said, don't want to talk about the rest of it. The only real reason that I'm even talking about it at the top of the show is because there is some political relevancy because this will come back on Trump. You will hear, but Fuentes is America first like Trump is. No, he's not, guys. Just keep that in mind. They're separate things. Fuentes just globbed onto that because he thought it would get him clout.
Yeah, he's a clout chaser and a cummy hunter.
No, he doesn't do that, Jack. Although
I don't know. So I believe those rumors to be fact.
Oh, dude, he comes out because Jaden is on there for a little while too. And he says that Jaden tried to kiss him when he was drunk once. Like bullshit. You'd have kissed him back.
Shut up. I'm picturing a very romantic interlude.
Right. All right. So let's move along to more relevant things. Jack, I don't know if you saw it. I'm sure you did. But RFK was in front of the Congress again the other day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
RFK is up there in front of the, hey, let's not weaponize the federal government committee. I forget what they're exactly called, Jack. The one that Jim Jordan's running.
Yeah, weaponization of the federal government or something like that.
Yeah. And we've watched a little bit of on here, but if you watch more of it, you will see the Democrats over and over again go, oh, we don't weaponize. We do not silence people. We do not cancel people. However, so RFK is up there, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz decides that she needs to speak up before he talks. Because, well, you know who Debbie Wasserman Schultz is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
For those who don't know, Debbie Wasserman Schultz is a congresswoman from Florida who used to run the DNC. She was the DNC chairwoman for a while. Did a wonderful job. I only laugh because she did a horrible job. Horrible fucking job.
Yeah, she was awful. Kind of corrupt too.
But anyway, so here is what happens next. This is as loud as I can get it, so hopefully it's not too bad.
Pursuant to House Rule 11, Clause 2, which Mr. Kennedy is violative of, I move that we move into executive session because Mr. Kennedy has repeatedly made despicable anti-Semitic and anti-Asian comments as recently as last week.
Okay, we should stop and talk about that. What he has said, and YouTube, I'm not agreeing with this, I'm just pointing it out, is that it's possible that the virus of unknown origin was made to target people of unknown pigment. Is that vague enough that we won't get in trouble?
I guess, but it really doesn't explain what he said was pretty bad sounding.
What he was saying is that the virus was made to target white people.
And Caucasians and blacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the specific groups that he pointed out. And
he pointed out that there have been times in the past where this kind of technology, I guess is the right word for it, has at least been experimented with.
Yeah, well, he did make the disclaimer that it didn't seem to affect two certain groups.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, there's also the rumor going around that the U.S. is doing the same thing with Russian DNA, but that's Russian propaganda.
So is it true? I don't fucking know.
I doubt it, but
you and I can have a discussion on Rumble or offline about some of this.
Yeah, because wow.
Anyhow, that's what she's talking about, where he said despicable things. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. But anyway, Debbie doesn't like that, so.
Rule 11, Clause 2 says, whenever it is asserted by a member of the committee that the evidence or testimony at a hearing may tend to defame, degrade, or incriminate any person, or it is asserted by a witness that the evidence or testimony that the witness would give at a hearing may tend to defame, degrade, or incriminate the witness, and it goes on. Mr. Kennedy, among many other things, has said, I know a lot now about bioweapons. We put out hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there is an argument that it is ethnically targeted. COVID-19 attacks certain races disproportionately. The races that are most immune to COVID-19 are...
A lady making a motion or a speech?
She's making both, actually. I love Jim Jordan. I really do.
Yeah, and I hate Debbie Wasserman Schultz, so...
Before anybody gets mad at me saying that, because, there's always some people that don't like us saying we like somebody. I like Jim Jordan when he's running a committee. I don't know much about his politics.
He's kind of a middle-of-the-road Republican. He's not quite a rhino, but he's not quite conservative either. He tends to be a little flip-floppy sometimes for me. He's from my state. I know a little bit about him. But I hate Wasserman Schultz, and you're 100% right. Jim Jordan on a committee is the best place for him to be.
Oh, absolutely.
He's actually effective as a Republican, actually does some stuff. Doesn't go far enough, in my opinion, because nobody ever goes to jail, but he does a good job interviewing people in a targeted way on these things.
A couple of things in chat I want to point out. Keldrig on YouTube says, what's going on with her hair? And over on Rumble, DK Fat says, Debbie, go easy on the soul glow. Yeah. There's two people I call ramen head. There's the chick who interviewed Jordan Peterson, and there is Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She went really hard on her soul glow today. Normally it's a little bit fluffier, a little bit, not much, but you can't see her scalp.
I think this is her without the weave.
Oh, maybe.
'Cause I'm pretty sure she has like extensions or something. I mean, it looks like she's got a giant bald spot right there in the middle of her head. She's looking old, man. She looks like a used up mop.
She does. Time to, rinse out that mop head and get a new one.
Yeah.
She loves the wet look, apparently.
Queen Mombi here's got to change her head. If you get that joke, you're a nerd.
All right. So she just went back over it. I couldn't remember how much Jim let her say, but yeah, he suggested that COVID is targeted to specific races. And Jack, I don't know how deep to go down that rabbit hole. I know we can't go deep down it here on YouTube.
Yeah.
But there's no reason. You could always stop if he says something that goes over this rule's boundaries as he's doing it, rather than, oh, we shouldn't let him talk at all.
Yeah, it's preemptive. What he said was not in this forum. He said it somewhere else.
Yeah.
It wasn't even on the same day.
They have let tons of people get up before Congress and say horrific shit that they did say in public. Like that trans person from Harvard. What's that dude's name who pretends to be a chick? Was trying to take back the word groomer. You remember this one?
Oh, I don't remember the name. I remember who you're talking about. But
yeah.
Why would you want that word, weirdo?
I'm with you on that. But they let that thing get up there in front of Congress. And she's the one that the congresswoman asked, hey, if somebody said something horrible in this vein, that'd be bad, right? Yeah. Well, here's your own fucking words.
Yeah. How many times has Senator Byrd spoken in Congress? That's a good point for us to.
True.
And yeah, a couple people have dropped the links. Could you grab one of those and link it at the top of the chat?
Oh shit, yeah. It's been a while, Jack. I'm out of practice.
You're gone for like 6 days and you forgot how to stream.
Thank you so much for dropping the links, guys.
Yeah, this is a good time to remind everybody we are brought to you by you. If you're enjoying the show, please hit the like button, share it on your social media, subscribe if you haven't, or follow, whatever it's called nowadays. If you're feeling generous, you can toss us money at the Streamlabs links going through the chat on YouTube, in the description on both YouTube and Rumble. And of course, there's also our merch store links there as well.
All right, so here we go. 6 days is like a year for Monkey Keldry. It's 6 internet days, so that is like a year. You know what happens in 6 days on the internet?
Oh my God, it's like cat ears.
Yeah, indeed. Here we go.
And I've made a motion to move into executive session because Mr. Kennedy's testimony.
Mr. Chairman, I
and
move
his
to table the
previous
motion.
statements-
The gentleman from Kentucky has moved to table.
Mr. Chairman, I ask for a roll call vote on the motion to table.
Well, let me ask.
Okay, so motion to table means shut that bitch up. We're going to put that off to the side. We don't care about that.
She wasn't even done reading the motion,
No.
so he's like, I moved to table this nonsense.
And so they go into a table motion.
The question is on the motion to table. The gentlelady has asked for a roll call vote. The clerk will have to step back for a second. The clerk will have to come in. We'll call the roll on the motion to table, and then we can get back to testimony.
All right, right there.
Witnesses can sit in the chairs sitting behind.
Okay. He was asking for the witnesses to get up and leave, which they don't have to do. He's new to being chairman, Jack, so
yeah,
easy enough mistake to make.
I'll leave that up to the clerks.
We're gonna watch
Clerks
this
are
whole
comfortable
thing
with
because it's
that.
funny as fuck.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Maybe we can go right down
Did
here.
anyone ever think we should get Kennedy
Mr. Chairman, point of
censored?
order.
You know, that's a good question. No, I didn't. Maybe Kennedy from Louisiana.
I could
Kennedy.
see one of their lawyers censoring them, be like, "Shut up! Stop confessing to shit."
Yeah, there's that too. I mean, hey, you did not see that woman before she was a dead body in the compound, kind of thing.
Yeah, and technically JFK was censored. He was canceled old school style.
Yeah, they censored the fuck out of him.
Gentleman from Louisiana.
Is it the custom of this committee to censor viewpoints that we disagree with from witnesses?
Mr. Chairman, I have
That's not a point of order.
motion on the
They're right that's not a point of order. That's just being a dick, and it's funny.
Point of personal privilege. Debbie
Right.
Wasserman Schultz looks smelly. I'd like to remove her from the
table.
There's a motion and the vote's been
Move into
called.
executive
House
session.
rules.
We're
because
waiting for
Mr.
we're waiting for the
Kennedy
clerks.
is violative of
Waiting
Rule
for the
11, Clause
clerks.
2.
Waiting for the clerks. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Jordan.
Yes.
Mr. Jordan votes yes. Mr. Issa. Mr. Massey.
Yes, to not censor.
Mr. Massey votes yes. Mr. Stewart.
Yes.
Mr. Stewart votes yes. Ms. Stefanik.
Yes.
Ms. Stefanik votes yes. Mr. Gates. Mr. Johnson of Louisiana.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson of Louisiana votes yes. Mr. Armstrong.
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong votes yes.
By the way, this is going to come down to a simple partisan vote.
Of course.
So her nonsense, she knew this wasn't going to fly. I don't know why she would do this. Why would you do this? Go ahead.
Oh, it's performative art.
No, and I hear you on that. But why would you do that in a hearing where you guys have been insisting that there's been no censorship of people? We have not censored anybody. By the way, we're going to censor this guy. Why would you do that here? You could wait, because the rules she's talking about is if a witness is going to be disparaging people, then we can move it to executive committee. That's where we shut everything off. So you people at home, you can't see this shit.
Well, peasants don't need to see
Yeah.
anything.
But why would you do that here? Wait until he says something.
They don't want him talking because he's divisive within the Democratic Party, because there's a lot of people that actually seem to be supporting him. His numbers are shockingly high. I mean, he's at like 17 or 18%.
Yeah. And again, I want to reiterate, I don't like JFK Jr. I agree with
RFK.
him when it comes to censorship. I think he's got some interesting things to say about like vaccines. I'll leave it at that. That at least should be, checked out, should be argued in public. Instead of everybody, no, he's wrong. Where's he wrong? Well, he's just wrong. Where? He's wrong. Where?
His lips are moving. I don't like it.
It's been debunked. Where's it been debunked? It's been debunked. Yeah, but where? That's how that argument goes every fucking time. So I think that he's got a couple of interesting things to say, but overall, this guy is a far lefty, and do not forget that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a dangerous lefty. You may agree with him on a few points, but that doesn't make him trustworthy. I wouldn't trust that dude as far as I could throw him.
Nope.
Yes.
Also, he looks
Mr.
like
Chief.
he uses human growth hormone.
He does, and he, like you pointed out, he sounded like a radio out of tune.
Yeah, creeps me out.
Mr. Bishop. Yeah. Mr. Bishop votes yes. Ms. Kamak.
Yes.
Ms. Kamak votes yes. Ms. Hageman. Ms. Hageman votes yes. Ms. Pasquette.
No, I want to follow the rules that the Republicans made at the beginning of this conference with these House rules, so no.
Ms. Pasquette votes no. Mr. Lynch.
No.
Mr. Lynch votes no. Ms. Sanchez.
No, because it's violative of the rules.
Ms. Sanchez votes no. Ms. Wasserman Schultz.
No to allowing a witness to degrade and
This is not
defame
speech
others
time.
and violate
And he's right. You're just supposed to say yes or no here.
the rules and
But
not
listen.
have his testimony and degradation and amplified
Mr. Chair.
rather than given in executive session.
Ms. Wasserman Schultz votes no. Mr. Connolly.
No to the
Miss-
Soviet Politburo.
Did you hear what he
Oh,
said?
Fuck off.
No to the Soviet Politburo. Yeah, this guy's, what a fucked up misuse of history right there.
No shit.
What
And
power?
remember, these people support Ukraine. So,
what power does RFK Jr. have?
I don't think he really has any, does he?
No, he's a lawyer.
Well, can't trust him on that alone.
Well, sure, but doesn't mean he has any power to change anything or.
Mr. Connolly votes no. Mr. Garamendi?
No.
Mr. Garamendi votes no. Mr. Allred? Ms. Garcia?
No.
Ms. Garcia votes no. Mr. Goldman?
No to hate speech.
Mr. Goldman votes no.
Okay, even if you dislike what RFK said, I still don't think you can point and say hate speech.
No, it's speech that they hate.
Fair
hate it.
enough.
No, these people don't know what hate speech is because it's not real.
No.
Jeez.
Did you hear Jordan right there?
Yeah.
Jeez. I kind of cut that off. Let's oh, this is Twitter. I can't just hit my button and bring it back.
Ha! No.
Mr. Allred? Ms. Garcia?
No.
Ms. Garcia
Listen.
votes no. Mr. Goldman?
No to hate speech.
Mr. Goldman votes no.
Jeez.
Now, I'm not positive that was Jordan, but it sounds like him. Whichever one it was, well done.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Jordan.
Mr. Gates? Yes.
Mr. Gates? Aye. Mr. Gates votes aye.
What are you, a pirate? We need
Well,
a yes
actually,
or no. Aye, aye, Captain.
He's actually the only one voting properly. It should be aye or nay.
Yeah, you would think so, but
That's how it's supposed to be.
that sounds like something they'd do under King George. Fuck
Right.
that.
Clerk will report.
Mr. Chairman, there are 10 ayes and 8 noes.
The motion to table is agreed to.
Point of order.
So there we go. Her point of order was shot down because it was fucking retarded. But yeah, we're up here to prove the Democrats don't censor anybody. We want to censor that fucker right there.
Right out the gate, too. They didn't like sneak it in later. Just like,
No.
hey, we're gonna open this up. First, we'd like to censor this person.
It's fucking retarded. It is so ridiculous. And they were proud of it. I mean, you heard them all give their little speeches when they were supposed to be just saying no. I'm doing it because of the Republican rules. I'm doing it because of the rules. I'm doing it because of the Soviet Politburo. What the fuck?
What are you talking about?
Oh man. Oh yeah. It's just wonderful. It's like they were like, you guys have not had good enough examples of what you're talking about, of us censoring people. So here, let us give you one. Anyway, there it is, guys. There's your Congress in action for what it's worth, I guess.
Yeah.
Trying to shut down a man because he wants to, because he was up there to talk about the censorship and crap going on with him on social medias. Because he's been, as much as anybody, shut down on social medias because he has the wrong ideas about vaccines, and specifically the COVID vaccine. Now, I don't know about the rest of vaccines, Jack. I don't know. I have some questions based on some things that RFK has said, and all I want is answers. He could be 100% wrong. That's possible. It is weird to me, though, that nobody will fucking answer the questions. You know me, Jack. I go and read studies.
Yeah. Look at
Give
you.
me the fucking study to go read.
No. No, that's for the elites, not the peasants.
But when it comes to how quickly the COVID vaccine was rushed through, especially when it comes to things like you need to get booster shots. Based on what? Based on what?
There goes your YouTube channel.
Yeah, there goes the YouTube channel. I'm just asking questions, Jack. I wasn't saying you shouldn't get booster shots.
Oh, yeah. It's
Sure.
hypotheticals. It's all hypotheticals.
You definitely shouldn't. Oh, god damn, man. There's something in my throat.
I know. It's seems to be catching.
Little truth. Um,
Yep.
the COVID stuff, that's the one he's got the most trouble for. That's the one that has the most questions that should be being asked.
No. Questions were disallowed by the science.
Who's that goofy motherfucker with the bow tie? That Dr. Nordberg or whatever his name is?
Bill Nye? What?
No. The one that got into
Oh.
the argument with RFK and refuses
Oh.
to go and debate him.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but he's a creepy little gnome too. What
Yeah.
is with all these like little gnome people?
I don't know, but that little gnome told us in one instance it takes, what is it, 20 years, he said, for vaccines to be approved.
Yeah.
Hotez, thank you, Switchblade.
Yeah. These people are making gnomes look bad, and they should be wary of that. You don't fuck with the Fey folk.
He says in one moment that it's 20, and then the next is like, no, man, it takes 2 or 3 years. And then he says, yeah, this is right in par for the vaccines, which is less than a year. Never explains how he changes from 20 years to a year. But we're supposed to just go, oh, yeah, that's right.
See, yeah, because it usually takes like 7 years to develop it, and then several more, like another decade, just to get all the testing out of the way.
Yeah. And we're not allowed to ask. We're not allowed to ask because that's going against the science. Except for the science tells us that it went against the science. And it absolutely did. There are no other vaccines that are approved in a fucking year. In the same year that they're made.
Well, you see, you need to stop looking into this because, yeah, there might be Clinton money in it.
And that's what got RFK as deplatformed as it was. It wasn't all his other stuff. It wasn't the fact that he talks about how many vaccines kids get these days or how those vaccines are different than they were when we first started doing vaccines, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think he should be silenced for that. I think he should be argued with for that. If you believe that he's wrong, then argue that he's wrong.
No, their first impulse is always to destroy anybody who disagrees with them. It doesn't matter if you're 100% right. They still want to destroy their opposition.
Yeah.
They could be completely, perfectly lined up, studies up the wazoo. Doesn't matter. Agree with them. There's no conversation. You just need to be destroyed.
Yep.
And if they're wrong, God forbid.
We saw that so much with COVID.
Yep.
You weren't allowed to ask a single fucking question about COVID.
Still not in a lot of cases.
No. We probably could get in trouble for this stream already on YouTube. Sorry, for what we've said so far.
That's
for just
stuff.
saying
I'm a
you
hitchhiker. You found
for just saying you should be able to ask.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure your name is Ethan Ralph, and I am Matthias Jarbroni.
The the fact that they come out here and say that science can't be questioned tells you it's not science. Science should always be questioned. Period. End of story. And if you have answers for it, that's great. But their answer is you can't question that. And that's not science. Period. End of story. There's no other debate to be had there. If they're telling you you can't question it, it's not science.
It's new science. It's like Common Core, but with the sciences.
With the Common Core sciences.
Yeah, common science. See, there's no biology in that one.
Jack, I want to show you a picture.
Oh, is it a boobies?
It's not.
Oh.
It's a baby.
Oh.
Babies eat on boobies.
Is it a cute baby or is it an ugly baby?
You can't really tell.
Oh.
For some reason, Beto O'Rourke popped up on my fucking timeline.
Why?
I don't know.
You meant metaphorical baby.
No, real baby.
Oh.
He says, this is what Abbott is doing. This is why we have to stop him, talking about Governor Abbott down there in Texas. And says, this is a photo of a baby being passed through concertina wire in Eagle Pass, Texas yesterday. So there's a baby right there. See, they're passing him through the razor wire.
Ugh, why?
Well, this is somehow Greg Abbott's fault.
That these people keep wandering into our property and stealing our shit? Yeah, Greg Abbott's fault, not Biden or the lack of border enforcement that we've got going on. Not the fact that all these NGOs keep busing these people up here and the cartels keep trafficking people, or the fact that somebody's on the other side of this razor wire grabbing that baby. Nope. It's that cripple guy in the governor's office. Fuck off.
Yeah, he's trying to secure the border so these people who are illegally crossing the border, this is his fault.
I'm so tired of the illegal aliens. I really am.
Me too. I thought this one would get you a little riled up there.
Yeah, it's got me fired up. I saw the story going around that the some of the Texas guys were supposed to refuse water to the illegals coming over and push them back in the river. I was like, good, do it. That'll show them. Of course, it's all likely bullshit, but I could get my hopes up.
I just I love the idea that they need water after they crossed a river. That's funny to me. You probably shouldn't be drinking river water, but still.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're used to parasitic filled water in the dumpy third world countries, so they're probably immune to whatever Giardia strain is in that river. But Evolve makes a good point. This is why I advocate for alligators in the river, because they wouldn't have made it this far.
Frosted said, does he need a sign saying razor wire bad for kids in Spanish? Maybe.
Yeah, there should be a sign. Oh, there should be a sign. All right, Beto.
And it was said a little bit earlier, so I know the answer, but I don't see how this is Greg Abbott's fault. This is their fault.
These people didn't have to come here this way.
Yeah. There's other ways to come to the country, like legally.
Yeah. No, they don't want to do that, though, because it involves doing a lot of paperwork and time and money, and they don't want to do any of that. They just want to jump the line.
You said money, and this is the part that always bothers me. These people have money to get here. They need money, whether it's coyotes, which are expensive as fuck.
Yeah, it's like $5,000 for a coyote.
Which would be enough to get the process started. You could get your immigration process started with your $5,000. Or whether it's just crossing the desert, you got to have some kind of food and water and stuff to go with you. Because let's be honest, these people aren't coming from Tijuana.
No, they're coming from like Guatemala and Honduras and Peru and Colombia and God knows what other butt-fuck country down there.
Frosted Glass, thank you so much. The kid ate magic dirt and made a full recovery. I'm glad. Glad. I don't want the kid hurt.
He stole our magic dirt. That kid's a thief.
I want to know why Beto's not out there eating magic dirt right now. He lost an election. That's what he should be doing.
He probably is. He's probably got his own personal supply. He's mainlining magic dirt as we speak. Real fast, though. Thank you, Dixie Rose, for that feminist donation. Did you hear that they're going to sue the state of Texas for putting the floaties in the Rio Grande? I did. The DOJ is going to sue the state of Texas because they tried to create a floating barricade. And they said, you don't get to do that.
Why?
Because
they can secure their border.
No, that's not okay. Because Merrick Garland's not a Supreme Court justice, so they don't get to do that.
Yeah, so anyhow, did several people do the same joke? It's cool. I occasionally steal y'all's jokes without seeing them. I promise it's without seeing them. I give credit when I do see them.
Great minds think alike.
Great minds, yeah.
Sometimes the rest of us.
I don't understand why. Oh, I'm still following Beto. That's why he popped up. That makes sense. I just thought the bitch would be out there eating magic dirt. For those who don't know, just to repeat this because it's funny to me, when he lost his senatorial election to Ted Cruz, part of his recovery, I'm not making this up, it's in a Washington Post article, you can go look it up. is he leaves his family and he goes out into the desert for a while where he ate magic dirt to feel better about himself. Now, some people have suggested that that means peyote. Peyote's not dirt.
No, he literally ate like magic dirt. I'm pretty sure there was some like Indian dude that just happened to be standing by the side of the road, and he's like, "Are you a shaman?" And the guy was like, "Sure." And he's like, "Well, I lost this campaign. I'm so sad." And he's like, "I didn't vote for this asshole. I know who you are. You should eat some of this legendary magic dirt. It'll help you." It was just some dude that thought it was hilarious to trick Beto because Beto thought he was a shaman. I guarantee you that's how that went down.
Fed this idiot mud pies, and he's like, I felt so much better that he says it, brought some home to my family. So not only did he eat magic dirt, he made his family eat magic dirt. Because I'm sure they were all broken up about his loss. You know, the kids who might get to see their dad once in a while.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder.
Cherokee hair tampons. That's true.
I wonder what campaign his wife is going to force him to do to keep him the hell out of the house now.
I don't know. I feel bad for her because she's got to listen to him whine about all this.
He could go back to Congress. He could probably re-win his congressional seat. He was in Congress for a while. But then he goes for the Senate seat, which he loses. He goes for the presidency, which he loses spectacularly.
Yeah.
And then he goes for the governorship, and he loses that one as well. They're running out of things he can run for.
Dog catcher. I mean, that's
postman.
Yeah. I wouldn't want him as a postman. I've had some really shitty postmen, and dude, he would find a new way to fuck up your mail. Like, it would not only not get to your house, it would somehow be opened and the wrong thing stuffed inside. Like, he was reading a lot of people's mail at once and just threw them back in different envelopes.
And there's dirt grit on everything.
Yeah.
This was kind of weird. This is completely off topic. We were driving across the country, right? And I saw this one town where they're having an election for a marshal. I didn't realize we had marshals anymore. We have
some
sheriffs
places
now.
still do. Yeah, well, you can also have like a constable in some places too.
I was unaware. I need to learn more about my country. No, I don't, because I'm not going to live in those places. But it just struck me a little odd. And I will say this, having driven across, we technically drove across 5 states, but only 3 for real. We're in West Virginia and Delaware for half a second.
Yeah.
But having driven in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Michigan still has the worst drivers.
Yes, that is a fact.
They are fucking horrible. We also have the worst roads by far.
Yeah.
In fact, Jack, we get off the Ohio Turnpike, and what fucking road did we take up? Not 23. Went over to the next one, 127. So we're going up 127. Immediately, as soon as we see the "Welcome to Michigan" sign, fucking pothole.
Yeah, that sounds right.
As soon as we get into the state.
Yeah, it's the same thing on 75. You cross right over, like there's a sign, yes, Michigan, and then boom, shit road. Like you can tell right where the border is.
So for all of you who think you have shit roads out there, just thank your God that you believe in that you do not live in Michigan, because fuck, our roads are bad. All right. Waiting for this to load up.
While you're doing that. Thank you, Keldrick. $5,000 for a coyote. All you need is a house pet, some rope, and a Walmart parking lot, and you can catch one for free. Oh wait, wrong coyote. Yeah, same rules apply. Yeah,
Fair.
Kind of. I mean, it's gotta be a tempting one though, like, because coyotes will attack your pet dog.
Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist $12. Speaking of Abbott, have y'all seen nothing about him removing mandatory water breaks for construction workers? All I can find are hit pieces on it. I have not. I've not seen anything about that.
Yeah, I tried looking it up, but I only found some random hit pieces that didn't cite anything. they were just talking about it like this is all rumor. I couldn't find any actual evidence that that's real. And I don't really care either way. I don't live in Texas.
I did go read the bill or the rules, I forget what it is, down there in Florida, where they're going to be teaching that slaves could have learned some skills by being slaves. They're not wrong.
Is there a landscaping joke in there that we're allowed to make?
I don't know. But I mean, they're not wrong. I mean, they did learn farming. Some of them.
Yeah, well, a lot of them became sharecroppers.
Yeah.
And they went into farming. There's a lot of useful skills you can learn on a farm. I'm sorry.
That's not to say that it was a good thing that they were slaves.
No, I don't think anybody's saying that. But I mean, people pick up job skills in prison all the time, like
Sure.
how to turn a toothbrush into a shiv. You never know. Might come in handy.
It might one day. You never know when there's a coyote upon you.
Yeah.
And all you have is a toothbrush.
Yeah, and you gotta suddenly use the bottom of your shoe to turn it into a pointy object so you can put its eye out before it steals your dog. But no, I mean, like, there are skill sets that you can learn on a farm, or on a plantation.
Well, let's be honest. It's not like the plantation owner was like, okay, all you guys do is pick. I will do the planting. No, they did everything.
Yeah.
The slaves took care of it all.
Yeah. Repairing things, sharpening tools. If they need a new roof, the slaves went and did that.
Yeah. So it's not like they didn't, but it is a bad look. I'm not about bad looks. I'm all for just being honest. But this is blowing up and it's kind of stupid. Real quick, Cool Frog, thank you. Ranting Monkey, do you think it'll be Michelle Obama and Gavin Newsom for 2024? It seems as if that might be what happens. SC is Dem playground. I don't think Michelle Obama's running for office.
No, I think that's a wet dream of the left. They talk about it all the time, but I don't think she's going to.
Has she spoken about it? I mean, this has been going on for a couple of years now. People talking about Michelle Obama. I've never seen her talk about running for office.
I don't know. I've heard she's talked about it, but I don't pay attention to what other dudes are doing sometimes.
Gavin Newsom, it depends on what happens with Biden. If Biden makes it his full term, I don't think Gavin runs. I think Gavin is begging for the VP slot because if Biden goes a second term, I'm not sure they're going to take Kamala with him.
Yeah. And if Kamala's running, Newsom's definitely going to run.
Oh,
whether
yeah.
it's as her VP or as a competitor to try and get the nomination.
If Biden drops out for whatever reason, let's say he makes it all the way to election day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, I'm not running this term. You're going to see Kamala. You're going to see Gavin. You're going to see, RFK Jr. And Gavin wins that pack.
Quite likely. He's the most name recognition, and people like him because he looks Hollywood.
Yeah. He's far more personable than she is. And look, I don't like saying anything nice about Gavin Newsom because the guy's a twat, but he's their best bet right now. Now, the thing with poor Gavin is Gavin's politics don't play outside of New York and California.
Yeah.
Maybe all the way up the West Coast. But that's it, because he's far too left. I'm surprised Biden has survived one term. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought the guy was going to be out a couple months ago. I had it at the 3 months in so that they could be like, yeah, he's it just happened. I'm still not convinced he's going to finish his term. He's going to slip down the, Air Force One stairs one day and they'll be like, no, he broke his thyroid.
No, he's going to go to the Clinton Library and have an accident.
Yeah.
How much would it bet he falls down the stairs at the Clinton Library?
He's going to fall on a toothbrush shiv 85 times.
Yeah.
It's going to be a real tragedy when it happens.
Yeah, we've still got time. Like Dixie said, his term isn't over yet. There's still time for him to have a whoopsie.
Yeah, yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me at all, especially if as bad as he's getting. Like, it's noticeable.
Yeah. Oh, I want to throw this into chat. Dude, no, where's the link? There it is. This is a Rumble discussion that that Nick Rekieta had the other day with Adam and Sitch, where they get into free speech. And this is one of the most frustrating discussions I've ever watched in my life, Jack. Because as much as I may like Adam and Sitch, Sitch has a way of, what's the word I'm looking for? Being a pedantic twat.
Mm-hmm. That's almost verbatim what I was thinking.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you guys are interested, watch it. Vito eventually jumps on. I don't know if you know who he is. And they have this weird conversation. I was playing Diablo 4 at that point, so I wasn't really paying much attention. But it was all about the Fuentes thing. But the foreshadow to that before Vito gets on, when they're just talking about the free speech stuff, it's interesting if frustrating.
Yeah, I can't watch them because they get way too nitpicky, and everything's about studies and journals and all this other shit that is just so incredibly academic. It's insanely boring.
Cynic says I watched the whole thing and it was painful, wasn't it? Oh my god, it was hard to watch because at times it's just like, move the fuck on. What the hell are you still talking about this for?
Because they got to get into the nuance.
Yeah, it's all about the nuance.
Yeah,
all right.
I understand a lot of people like them. It just isn't for me. I get really bored with it. It's like watching Charlie Rose.
Nick was pointing out that when you look at what Fuentes said, they're both named Nick, so I got to do this. Rekieta was pointing out that what Fuentes said, under what has gone through the Supreme Court so far, would not be considered incitement because there was no imminent threat, which is part of, what is it, Brackenberg versus Ohio, I think is the case.
That sounds right, yeah.
And he's just pointing that out. And Sitch asked him, well, is that your personal view or just what you just going along with the legal view? If they changed it, would you still hold that personal view? And Nick is like, no, I would still hold that personal view. I feel like that should be the end of the conversation on that.
You'd think so, but we got to analyze that and parse it down for 10 more fucking minutes.
Oh, no. For an hour and a half.
No, I would have fallen asleep by 10 minutes, so it wouldn't have mattered how much rambling went on beyond that point.
Brandenburg. Thank you, Frosted. Yeah. Brandenburg v. Ohio. Look, there's so many versus Ohio's versus Texas versus whatever.
We're an important state. Just ask us.
Anyhow, this was David from
Every thought a pause.
What's that?
Every thought a pause.
Oh, yes. Who said that? Jordan. Well done. David from, this is a Republican-ish. No, he's not. He claims to be conservative now and then, Jack.
Oh, yeah, he's a piece of shit.
He said this, they swore up and down they wouldn't send girls and women to prison for having abortions. They lied. Now, you'll notice there's a community note on this.
Yeah, I saw this.
My response came before that community note. I just want that pointed out. He then goes on to say, will the policing and punishment of women be an important issue in 2024? Of course it will be, because you guys are lying.
Yeah.
But it sure seems important to the outcome in 2022, and that while the new surveillance regime was still mostly hypothetical, now it's become real. This is the case we talked about right before before I went to vacation, Jack, because some other idiot was out there. Look, they're locking women up for abortions. This fucking bitch that he's talking about, at her 7-month mark, she was 7 months pregnant. No state in the union would give you a abortion on demand at 7 months. It was illegal. And her mom went and got abortion pills. Her mom actually procured them for her. She takes the abortion pills. The baby dies because that's what abortion pills do. 7 months, so you can't call it a fetus anymore, although they still try to.
Oh yeah.
They deliver the baby, they set it on fire, and then bury it. This was under Roe. This was before the Dobbs case.
Yep.
But they keep trying to point at no. They got her for having an abortion. They didn't even get her for having an abortion. They got her for concealing skeletal remains.
Yeah. This what do they call it? I don't know. My brain stopped working 5 minutes ago.
And she ended up with just a couple of months in jail, if I remember. Her mom got a lot more for getting the pills and everything. So this is fucking bullshit. But they're going to lie about it. They're going to keep lying about it. And I'm going to keep bringing up that they're fucking lying about it.
Yep.
Because
desecration of remains, I think it was.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's what Bubba said, improper disposal of a body. And I think failure to report a death was in there too. But they got like 90 days. It's not like this was they weren't going for like 70 years or anything.
Yeah. The girl who was actually having the baby got a slap on the hand.
Oh yeah. The mom's looking at what, 5 years?
It's 5 or 7, I can't remember. But yeah, she's gonna go away and they'll probably give her a slap on the hand too. But they keep pointing, oh, see what happened? We told you they were gonna jail him for having abortions.
Yeah, that's not what they were charged with.
And this is the same stuff they would have been charged. This tragedy for the baby, this homicide for the mom, happened before Dobbs was decided.
Yep. This was not a new case.
So don't let them lie to you. Speaking of lying to you, Jack, we got some Krasensteins for you.
Figures.
Because this is another lie that's out there that needs to be pointed out. Never forget that Victor Shokin's office told Burisma's CEO that there was no case against him in 2015. One, Ed, shut the fuck up. You don't know what happened over there. And Jack, I say that as somebody who doesn't know everything that happened over there.
Yeah.
But this is the one that gets me, and you're going to see this around a lot, guys. Never forget that Republican senators literally sent a letter to Ukraine's president around the same time Biden pushed to get the prosecutor fired, February of 2016, also telling Ukraine to reform the prosecutor general's office. All right.
That doesn't mean fire the people looking into my kid.
Well, it's not true.
Well, there's a shocker. Krasenstein didn't have the facts on the side. What?
Never forget Republican senators literally sent a letter to Ukraine's president. No, they didn't. Democrat senators did, and 3 Republicans signed on to it. It was written by Democrats. It was literally sent by Democrats. 3 Republican senators, one who's no longer in office, Jack, signed on. That's it. Out of how many did they have in office at that time? 48, 47 in 2016?
Something like that.
Yeah. So it's not like this major bipartisan letter was sent, by the way, literally by Republicans, is what this says. It's not true. It's not true. A couple of them signed on. Oh, they literally did it. No, fuck you, you lying piece of shit. You lying piece of shit. Anyhow, by the way, Shokin has came out and said that all of the shit we've heard isn't true. And again, Jack, I don't read Ukrainian. I would have to go through a lot of their news and have it translated to find out what exactly happened. But you have people like Ed here who they know. Although he gets the American part wrong.
Well, he's kind of stupid.
Thank you, Cool Frog. Did you see Roger Stone's prediction at Turning Point USA? I did not. For the record, I haven't seen a lot of stuff that's been going on. I've been on vacation, so most of what I'm showing here, Jack, is stuff that I caught today, and
Mhm.
when I was smoking, because when I don't smoke around everybody when I'm on vacation. I go out front, and me and the cat smoke together.
Hmm. You should be cutting down on that.
And I would check my phone, check my Twitter when I was doing that. Yeah, my father-in-law's cat, who doesn't like anybody, immediately when she saw me, came right back up to me like I'd never left. Yep, she just right back, snowballing me. We hung out together as I would smoke every day. And they decided that the cat just likes secondhand smoke.
Yeah, I was gonna say the cat's got an issue. He's hooked on it.
I do want to throw this one into chat. We can't watch it. It is just too quiet, Jack, and there's no way to boost it up. This is a Nebraska parent going off on a teacher union president for fighting against school choice. And in the video, we can bring it on screen. There's no reason I can't bring it on screen, Jack. We just can't listen to it because it's quiet as shit. You want to hear how quiet this shit is, guys? Hear how fucking quiet that is?
Yeah, it's pretty quiet.
You know what's weird about this? I couldn't. There's a camera right here and a camera right here. Clearly major news cameras. These are not bloggers.
Yeah.
But I could not find this video anywhere where you could see this better. I'm sure there's one that exists. I'm not sure it made it to public broadcast. Ain't that interesting? This mom, this black mom, going off on this white school teacher union president. Remember, the teacher unions, it's all about, hey, this is going to hurt black kids if we let them go to schools that do well.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, maybe they know that she didn't vote for Biden, and
Maybe.
ergo, not a news story.
She's just arguing that when her kid was coming up, her kid is dyslexic, that the schools weren't helping her. So she wanted to put her in a school that would. And she's like, why would you take that away from my daughter? What am I supposed to do in that case? You guys do know why teachers unions don't like school choice, right?
Because they hate children.
The teachers would be held to standards because in order to get
What?
kids into your school, you would have to have decent standards, and then the teachers would have to work.
But not only would they have to work, you might fire some of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's so unrealistic standards. Come on, look, Monkey. Some of them have like extra jobs that they work during their 3-month vacation.
Yeah. Except they don't. They're bullshitting. I just wanted to bring this one up because it is important. And the guy, he says this, why don't we just give voters the choice to make this, to make this choice? Let the voters decide. And that's fine. I'm okay with that, Jack.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that.
My problem with it is this little motherfucker on the right there, the very awkward looking honky. He knows damn good and well that the teachers unions are just going to spam the fuck out of the airwaves.
Oh, yeah, of course. They always do.
And that mom here does not have the money to counter that shit.
Nope.
She just doesn't. And I don't care what school group she has. They don't have the money to counter the bullshit that comes from the teachers unions. Especially when they get discounts, from their labor friends in the news media. I'm sorry. I have no proof that they do that. That's why they're all covering the actors' strike as though it means a goddamn thing. Have you seen this?
Oh, my God. They don't shut up about the actor strike. It's almost like they're trying not to talk about the major issues that are going on right now.
I was watching at my father-in-law's house. They also watch CBS Morning News. I don't know what it is that this family likes it so much, but I'm okay to watch it, Jack, so I know what's going on in the news rather than in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And one day they had this actor who had apparently been in one of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I forget his name. A really weird guy who was very mad. And then the next day they had Fran Drescher on.
Uh-huh.
They never had anybody from any of the producers lobby or whatever the fuck it was called. The AMC LBA. I forget what it's called. They never had any of the counter voices on. They kept saying, yeah, they wouldn't come on. Okay. But why keep having people from, you already had the one person tell us on Tuesday what they're upset about. Why'd you need somebody on Wednesday? Why are you treating this? Look, I'm going to be quite honest with you, Jack. I don't give a fuck about the writers or the actor strike. Not even a little bit. I'm going to be supremely honest with you. Don't watch modern shows. They suck. Go watch old shit.
Yes.
There's tons of it out there.
Well, this new stuff is bland. They can't be controversial. They can't make edgy jokes. They're very formulaic. The dads are always dumb and the moms are always right and the kids are super geniuses. It's boring. It's totally formulaic and bland, almost cookie cutter interchangeable.
I watched a couple of things while we were there. I don't normally watch TV. You know that. I watch it when I go to bed and then maybe at dinner time. Although I did watch the new episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Don't watch it. It's not a good one.
Oh, boo.
Yeah, it's just crap. It's supposed to be about Dennis's anger and it doesn't work. But the one from last week was funny as shit. I don't watch very much TV. So while we're there, I watched a lot more TV than I normally would. And I saw a couple of old episodes of MASH, which, by the way, still hold up. They're still humorous. A lot of the humor is what by today's standards would be considered inappropriate. And then we watched some show, I couldn't tell you what it was, that it was live last year. It's repeats now because everybody's on strike.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It was absolutely unwatchable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's most of the modern shows.
It was formulaic and not funny at all.
I'm telling you, it's cookie cutter shit, man. They're just all kind of the same.
And their cookie cutter is just a circle.
Yeah.
There's nothing interesting about it.
It's literally the most generic cookie cutter you could get.
MASH was classic. MASH very much classic. Yeah. Look, I understand why people don't like, if you don't like MASH, I understand. But you can at least recognize that, especially by today's standards, they told funny jokes. Maybe not all, Jack. Maybe they didn't all hit for you.
Mm-hmm.
But what show? I wish I could tell you. I honestly don't know. I'm going to be really honest with you. I was playing my Switch because that shit was horrible. It's Always Sunny really went downhill around the time Matt came out as gay. Watch this season. There's one of my favorite episodes ever is this season. It's the one where they go to, I forget what they call it, but it's a knockoff of Chuck E. Cheese. One of my favorite episodes I've ever done. All right. And Always Sunny's always done that. I think that there was a lull in like season 7 and 8, and it picks back up around the end of 9 and going into 10. Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but there was an article that people that are transitioning may not be deployed for military service. So if you're in the military and you're in the middle of transition, you don't have to get deployed. If you redid MASH today, Klinger would be like, I'm trans.
Yep. He absolutely would. All right. I need to find a Keemstar video.
Oh God.
It's not Keem, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
there's a new boxing thing being put together, right? And Alex Stein was supposed to fight Modine.
Oh yeah, I saw this nonsense.
And Alex decided to, well, let's watch it, shall we? Because there's an important part here.
Before you do that, thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. I get in so many arguments about that show, The Good Doctor. Oh, I fucking hate that show. There's no universe where that autistic guy becomes a surgeon. It has a massive liability, and they portray autism as a superpower. It's not. Yeah, that was my problem with it too. I saw like one episode of it, and then I've seen clips from it. There's a clip where he's at like the airport, and he tries to get a knife. I need a knife. Definitely need a knife. And he grabs one away from like the TSA guy and runs over, and they tackle him. And they're like, no, he's trying to save my son. That's not how that would go down. They would tase the shit out of him and just start whooping his ass and drag him into the room where they give you the butt exam. And they'd be like, get away from here, lady. Because either that or they'd already know about the emergency and that he's a doctor. This fucking stupid show. Fucking hate that show. And you're right, it does make autism look like it's a superpower. But it's like he's the smartest person around. Yeah, but he also sounds like he drools all the time. I really hate that show. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Saint says, Monkey, you missed a few live stream and watched them at work. Don't allow that Bud Light CEO to give all Brendans a bad name. Fair enough. And Evolve said, I can't get the new seasons. They only have up to going to Ireland and Australia. That's last season. That's season 15. They're on 16 now. So maybe you'll get it when the season's over. Okay. So Alex Stein is supposed to be boxing, and this is the beforehand, right? The press conference. And this happens.
I brought you a little gift because I know you love hot.
Is that way too loud?
No, it sounds like he's in a wind tunnel, but that's the audio, not you.
Okay.
Dogs.
Now, what you need to know is this guy's a Muslim.
Yeah.
And Alex Stein just threw hot dogs at him. Now, why is everybody a boxer now? It's a good way to get some clout. Although, from what I've seen, the people who do it, they don't get any clout out of it.
No, it's
anyway.
perception more than anything.
Oh, yeah, here's some hot dogs. Yeah, here's some hot dogs, Bo. I know you love that. You love pork, right?
Now, that part's important. That part is important. Some hot dogs for you. I know you love pork, right? You heard him say that.
Mm-hmm.
You heard him say that. Well, he got disinvited from this event, Jack.
Yeah.
And Alex says this. I got canceled for throwing turkey hot dogs onto Modine. I had just had my fight canceled for throwing turkey hot dogs on Modine. All right. They may have been turkey hot dogs, but your intent was not to make him think that. You didn't say you like turkey, right? He didn't say that, right, Jack? I'm not wrong that he said you like pork, right?
You are correct, sir.
Okay. I'm just making sure, because sometimes my memory sucks, and while that was only a couple seconds ago.
Well, I mean, never know. We might have blacked out at some point.
Look, I know people like Alex Stein. He's gotten to the point now that he's a parody of himself, and I just can't take him. And
yeah, I never found him that funny. His little things at like the city council meetings were kind of cute, but he's a one-trick pony, and I don't find him funny at all.
And then to come on here and lie. I got canceled for throwing turkey. That
They might have been turkey hot dogs. I'm not entirely clear that this isn't something they were both in on.
Well,
mostly because Alex is not funny.
It did get the fight canceled.
Yeah, but I mean, look at Alex Stein. Do you really think that dude could handle himself in a fight? I didn't think this thing was going forward to begin with.
Now, this says, at the press conference today, you threw sausages that were believed to be pork meat at Mohammed Kuba Modine, your scheduled opponent, causing a fight between Mr. Kuba and yourself. This fight caused the destruction of the press conference stage. You put the name and reputation of Misfits Boxing and shareholders, blah, blah, blah. Your fight is canceled.
Yeah, see, I think this is a publicity stunt for the fight. Because if he really wanted to offend the guy, he'd have thrown bacon at him and torn up pages of the Quran.
No, see, he did this shit on purpose so that he can say, I didn't throw pork at him, because he's a little bitch.
Yeah, well, that's he is a bitch. That's why I said, if this was real, he would have thrown bacon at him. But I think they were just trying to get out of the fight. They weren't gonna. It was a publicity stunt. I think everybody was in on it, and it was canceled because they weren't going to do it anyway. But I'm conspiratorial in that manner because I've seen Alex Stein, and he's kind of pudgy.
I think Alex didn't want to do the fight. I think Modine was ready to go. There's lots of people who do this fighting thing.
Oh, yeah. Look, if I was Modine, I know I could take Alex Stein. Look at the dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got muscle in the negative numbers.
Yeah, he's he got that Pillsbury Doughboy body going on.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm fat, but I'm pretty sure I could beat up Alex Stein. I got like 20 years on him.
Frosty said, "Don't throw stuff at someone. Doesn't matter what it is." Oh, I agree there.
Yeah.
But he was being purposefully inflammatory. He even says, "You like pork, right?"
Yeah. Like, I might have almost respected him if he'd thrown an actual pig head at the guy, but because then I'd be like, wow, dude, you're trying to get your ass kicked. But no, this is Alex didn't want to do the fight, or the whole thing was a publicity stunt. Doesn't really matter. Alex didn't want to actually do a fight.
Yeah.
And he was getting out of it one way or another. Whether Modine was in on it or not, it doesn't really matter. Alex wasn't taking any of this seriously. And anytime he says he's going to do something, I'm like, this is going to be dumb. So, I didn't think this fight was going to take place to begin with. So, I was kind of surprised. I was like, this was still going on? What?
I didn't think the fight was going to take place either. I was just waiting to see what it was Alex was going to do for his publicity stunt.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think we're mostly on the same page. I just have a little bit of a conspiratorial twist on it.
Yeah, I don't think Mo was in on it at all. I think Alex is just a twat.
Yeah.
Because look, I get it. Don't understand why Muslims don't eat bacon. That shit is tasty.
Yeah. Well, it's because of the demons that live inside pigs.
Sure. But this was just ridiculously disrespectful. Do you think he would do that to a Jew, like an Orthodox Jew?
I think Alex Stein is stupid enough to actually do that to a Jew. Yeah.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he thinks forward on the consequences of things. He seems very impulsive and rash, and like a teenager where he's like, I've got a great idea, and he just runs with it. It doesn't he can't stick the landing like somebody in chat just said. I totally agree with that. But it's like he has no impulse control or forethought.
Spoonie says, I don't know who he is. Alex Stein is a guy who made a name for himself on Twitter, mostly by going to different school board meetings and town council meetings and giving ridiculously stupid speeches. And I can't even describe them. They're just ridiculously stupid. They're funny, but he takes them too long. Basically playing into really hard left stereotypes. And he takes that and turns it into a show on the Blaze. He took over where Sydney and what's his name used to do their show. He took their time slot. They even, from what I've heard, Jack, they even kind of cheated the system by just putting him in there so that all the numbers look the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a host on the Blaze. All right. Let's move on to Whoopi Goldberg, shall we?
Oh God, what is it with Are we just talking about every retard under the sun today?
Yes. Well, this one is kind of, I think it's important because of what's going on. Jason Aldean makes a song called Not in a Small Town, or Try That in a Small Town.
Yeah, I've heard this controversy. It's fucking dumb. And her comments are exceptionally stupid.
Exceptionally stupid.
Pretty impressive coming from this orca.
So country singer Jason Aldean is getting backlash.
She is eating while she's talking on her show.
I mean, are you surprised? She's like a network TV version of Amberlynn Reed.
Surprised? No. Annoyed? Yes.
Yeah, it's weird and gross. Don't do that.
For the video of his song Not in a Small Town, which critics are saying is racist. Got lyrics, racist lyrics. And
It does not have racist lyrics.
No. And is this technically a mukbang because she's eating while talking?
Maybe.
Hmm.
Maybe there's somebody out there jacking off to Whoopi Goldberg eating.
I regret
Images.
bringing that up.
That's your fault.
I know. It's on me.
Aldean says the song's about unity. Here's South Dakota Christy Noem.
How do you get Neem from Noem? All right. Maybe she just needs glasses.
She's getting on in the air. She probably does. But, you know,
Defending
she's dumb, so.
him. Here's the clip.
I am shocked by what I'm seeing in this country with people attempting to cancel this song and cancel Jason. I think a lot of times people that go out and fight every day on these important issues and have an opinion and remember the freedom and liberty that this country was founded on get persecuted from it. And we're seeing that with the Aldeans right now and the songwriters that work so hard on this. And I just want them to know that we support them. We love them. Thank you for writing a song that America can get behind. And boy, keep singing, keep playing. And if you want to come to South Dakota, I'll let you play anywhere.
You'll let him play anywhere?
Go ahead.
Real quick. I need to point out that Christy Noem's pretty hot and I want to bang her.
Fair enough. Keldrick, thank you. The funny thing about all this to me is that the black folks who reacted to the song all over YouTube mostly like it and agree with it. True story.
Yeah, because they're not the trashy people that he's singing about.
Have you heard the song or seen the video, Jack?
I heard the song. I haven't seen the video.
The video, in the song, he's singing about all of the shit basically that happened in 2020 that we saw going on in Minneapolis and Seattle and Portland and LA, San Diego, all over the fucking country. And he's like, try that in a small town, see what happens.
Yeah, remember when Antifa went to that little town outside of
Alabama?
Was it in Alabama?
That's where they were gonna do it and they backed out.
No, they went to some little town and there were like 10 of them. And they got like manhandled by two big good old boys. Remember that?
Yes.
One of them got knocked to the ground and they pussed out immediately because nobody around them was helping. They expected like, oh, we're going to have all this support and shit. No, the good old boys are the locals. Everybody knows them and they're like, kick his ass.
The song is, there's nothing racist about it. He's talking about all the bullshit. I mean, he literally sings like the one line is spitting in a cop's face.
Yeah.
There's nothing racist about that.
No. And my impression was that it was directed more to Antifa than anybody else.
I mean, it was kind of directed at big cities in general because of how unconnected they are compared to a small town.
Yeah. In a smaller community, you know your neighbors. You at least like have some sort of connection with them, whether it's just because you see them all the time. You may not know their name, but you are aware of who they are and they're part of your community. And you don't want them getting hurt. In a city, you're purposely alienated so that you don't have to get to know people because most of them are nuts.
In a small town, you care about what happens to local businesses. You care about what happens to your town center.
Yeah, because you need those.
Yeah.
You understand that if you lose that local pharmacist, you're going to have to drive far to get to another one.
Yep.
Or your grocer goes out. So you support those people and they support you back. They reinvest in the community. You have like community events that are sponsored by local businesses or put on
Yep.
by them. And it's an interconnected, symbiotic relationship. You don't have to like your neighbor, but you understand that they're necessary to your existence. They don't do that in the cities.
Now, you'll notice that when she said that there were racist lyrics, she didn't read any of them.
Oh, why would she want to do that? It'd go against her point.
You own South Dakota now? Listen, you know, there are lyrics in the song, and I think, you know, he talks about life in a small town and it's different, you know, and he shows these images. He's got folks from the Black Lives Matter movement.
I just want to pause here for a second and point out that every face you can see here is white.
Well, yeah, because that was the majority of the dumbasses going out and getting in trouble, like causing problems with their giant fatty meat shields out front, the tank division. It was almost all Antifa or liberal middle-aged women.
What's up, Beast Boy? How you doing, my friend? Yeah, but the Black Lives Matter movement, those are all honkies.
Yeah.
Every fucking one of them that you can see.
Excuse me, those are cracker Americans.
They're cracker Americans, absolutely.
And he's talking about people taking care of each other. And I find it so interesting that it never occurred to Jason or the writers that that's what these folks were doing.
When they burned down that black pharmacy, Jack, that we were watching, no, that was a black clothing store. Remember?
Clothing
Like,
store.
no, don't burn down that one. But they'd already thrown the Molotov inside.
Yep, it was way too late by then.
Were
Or
they
the
taking care of the community,
or looting that weave store that we watched.
Oh yeah.
Or you know, all the CVS's and Walgreens that went up in smoke or got raided. Or
Where was the one strip that we saw? They completely stripped out the strip mall, and then there was a Target right next to it that they went and hit. Then,
yeah, that was in St. Louis, I think.
Is that the St. Louis ones? Yeah,
I think it was St. Louis.
How are they helping their community with that?
Well, that T-Mobile store just had to get looted, monkey. That was good for the neighborhood.
It was because those people were handing those out instead of selling them on eBay.
Yeah. Nobody was robbing on sneakers from the Payless and then not handed them out to the homeless.
Yeah, that's what they were doing.
They weren't taking them home and keeping them.
Well, remember, they only looted bread because they were hungry.
Yeah, it was all they were trading it for bread. Just like Chicago when they hit all those rich stores. They were stuffing armloads of stuff in cars that were waiting outside. That was because there was a bread store that trades clothes for bread.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that place. It's called Breads Are Us.
Yeah, it's secondhand breads because you take your secondhand clothes and you get breads.
Yep.
No, it's just disgusting. Like, remember that Walgreens that got looted in, I want to say it was Los Angeles or Seattle, one of the two. And the next day, there was that news clip of that older black woman crying because she couldn't go get her meds now.
Oh,
she said, if this store closes forever, where do I get my medication? I can't afford to go anywhere else. Because she had to ride the bus there, and the bus doesn't go to any other places.
You don't understand, Jack. They were helping that woman. I don't know how, but Whoopi knows.
Yeah, I don't know how either, and I felt so bad for that woman because you could tell that like genuine devastation. Just like in Baltimore when they burned down the CVS.
Yeah.
The same shit. People are like, where are we supposed to go get our meds now? And it was always older people like, they are not thinking this through.
And this is what we've talked about before with all this violence. It hurts long term because these companies are like, fuck it, we're not coming back in there.
Yeah. Their insurance costs skyrocket because now it's an unsafe area.
Yep.
They can't run the risk of paying more insurance and then restocking all those stores, maybe rebuilding the buildings or doing renovations. It's going to cost a fortune.
Yep.
And that's why we keep seeing all these stores leaving these cities.
All right, let's hear the rest of what Dummy has to say.
They were taking care of the people in their town because they didn't like what they saw. Just like you talk about people.
Sorry, I got to pause again. All right. Okay. We watched as a line of protesters, I'm using giant fucking air quotes, stood in front of a line of cops in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy stands up and he asks, "Are you going to kneel on my neck for 9 minutes?" Jack, can you remind me where the George Floyd thing happened?
It was in not Seattle.
It was in Minnesota, right?
I believe so, yes. But it was
So-
definitely not Seattle.
So they were taking care. They didn't like what they saw in their neighborhood. It wasn't in their fucking neighborhoods. The George Floyd riots, which took place all across the country, only one of them happened where George Floyd died.
Yeah, that's why an autonomous zone was set up in
Seattle.
Seattle?
Yeah. Why Portland had to burn for
Yeah.
fuck, what was it? We watched for 4 months.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it still
Almost
went on
nightly.
after we stopped watching.
Yeah, they chased all the streamers out, so it wasn't
Yes.
as fun. Yeah,
So-
I'm so
Don't
sick of this
like
shit.
this- Like this shit happened in response to something that happened in Seattle or in Portland. It wasn't. Portland is one of the most liberal countries in the fucking country. And these motherfuckers get away with all kinds of shit. Portland has been an Antifa hotspot where they get to do whatever the fuck they want for years. This goes back to 2016 and actually before that.
Yeah, they've been there for quite a while. Yeah, and I'm so sick of this shit. We saw these riots in Baltimore, St. Louis, Louisville, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Portland, Seattle, LA, probably half a dozen other places. And it's all the same shit. They're just burning their own neighborhoods down. Who does that? Or these outside agitators come in and burn down the neighborhood or drum it up. Like we saw in, what was it? Waukesha.
Real quick,
Kenosha.
thank you, Keldrig, who said, "Am I a bad person for wishing the cop had said yes?"
Oh my God, I'd have been like, challenge accepted.
I would have pissed myself. I really would have.
Yeah. Real quick, thank you, Frosty Glass. If we can't trust the racial or political arguments of Theodore Rex, co-star Whoopi Goldberg, what is this world coming to?
Right.
Theodore Rex was a horrible, horrible film. And thank you for that reference.
It's not even her political. It's her fucking straight out lying that bothers me. All right, hang on. Let's finish. Well, we'll see if we finish.
People taking care of each other in small towns. We do the same thing in big towns.
No, you don't.
You just have to realize that when you make it about Black Lives Matter, people kind of say, well, are you talking about black people? What are you talking about here?
He's literally talking about riots, you fucking retard.
Yeah, he's not talking about peaceful people. He's talking about riots.
You showed pictures from it. They were riots. And you even included a picture of a guy standing on top of a car with fire burning behind him, taking a crowbar to a windshield.
Look, that image was fiery, but mostly peaceful.
Unless he was trying to save people from that car. You know, the doors were locked and you couldn't get the side windows open. We got to bust out the windshield. That was not taking care of anybody.
Look, Captain Crowbar was trying to stop Christine from going on a murder spree.
Jack, let me ask you this.
Okay.
When a car is vandalized like that, who's hurt by it?
Probably the property owner, the guy that relies on that car to get to and from work.
I'm gonna correct you a little bit.
Oh,
everybody, because his insurance rates are going up. You know who else's are going up?
Everybody else's.
Everybody around him. That becomes a dangerous neighborhood, as you were talking about with the buildings.
Yeah. Well, plus that fire probably wasn't exactly contained. So.
And if you did that to a police car, it's the community that has to pay for that.
Yep, that's tax dollars going up in smoke.
If we're talking about Americans taking care of each other, then it shouldn't be about Black Lives Matter. You should be able to show all the different things that have gone on in our country where people stood up and said no more. We do.
honey, you showed a picture from it. It was all white people. All white people.
Look, man, I don't know where you're getting your hate facts, but that doesn't fit the narrative of he's a racist.
Where did they show that? Was that
Four natives said, name 5 of your neighbors, Whoopi. She
Yeah.
doesn't know her neighbors. She doesn't talk to her neighbors. Unless she's in a gated community where they're like, oh, we got to keep the pores out.
It's literally all white people.
No,
Can
she just sees
anybody
the...
find a pigment in this picture? This dude's so white, it's glowing.
That's one of those masks, though.
No, you can see his neck.
No, he's wearing one of those V for Vendetta masks, the Guy Fawkes mask.
He's not on his neck.
No, not on his neck, but that's
you
why
can
he's
see
so
his
pasty
neck right
white.
there.
Yeah.
They're literally all honkies.
The only thing I can hope is that they beat the shit out of that hippie with the guitar on the right.
This asshole, yeah.
Yeah, because those hippie dudes with guitars, nothing offends me more than a hippie with a fucking guitar. Unless he's got like a ukulele or a bongo.
I hope this dude took a pepper ball to the nuts.
Right?
Yeah.
And they smashed his guitar while he was down crying.
Yes. Over his head. Now, look, I get that they want to turn that song into something racist. And the video. Watch the video. It's not. Yes, it is highlighting the riots that happened. All the riots that were happening. And she's like, you should highlight everything. Literally all white people in your fucking picture. What else could he have done? You didn't even read the song. There's nothing racist about the song. There's no racist lyrics in the song.
A country singer performed it, Monkey. Country singer.
Do you know who Darius Rucker is?
Hootie from Hootie.
Hootie, yes. He's also a major country singer.
No, he's white now because he sings country music.
Inducted into the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, no, he's officially white now. He may have voted for Biden, I'm not sure, but because he's a country singer, he's automatically classified as white.
Oh,
so same with that black dude from that duo. Was it Big and Rich, something like that?
Neither of those guys are black.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know country. There's a black dude and a white dude that sing together. I don't know their fucking names.
I can't think of a duo, but I'll take your word for it. Anyhow, let's move along, Jack, to our money being spent well.
Oh, speaking of that, it's a good time to remind everybody we're brought to you by you. So gives us money if you want to, and you can.
It was about people being violent. Well, you must mean black people. Oh, huh? Right. Exactly. Fuck. Pentagon watchdog finds some Western weaponry sent to Ukraine was stolen before being recovered last year. Jack, I'm not believing that it was recovered.
No, I'm not. Maybe they bought it on the black market.
Criminals, volunteer fighters, and arms traffickers in Ukraine stole some Western-provided weapons. Get this fucking ad out there. And equipment intended for Ukraine troops last year before it was recovered, according to the Defense Department Inspector General report. Hey, Defense Department Inspector General, have you found that $6 billion is missing?
Yeah, it went to the CIA probably. I like how everybody in chat's like stolen. Air quotes. Yeah. There's some shenanigans here.
The plot to steal the weaponry and equipment were disrupted by Ukrainian intelligence services, and it was ultimately recovered, according to the report titled DoD's Accountability of Equipment Provided to Ukraine.
It's a big blank sheet of paper with the words, "We got nothing."
Got nothing. But the Inspector General report noted that after Russian invasion of Ukraine last year, the Defense Department's ability to track and monitor all of the U.S. equipment pouring into Ukraine, as required by law under the Arms Export Control Act faced challenges because of limited U.S. presence in the country. Yeah, this is one of the things Rand Paul has been going off about. We have no way to track anything in Ukraine.
No, there's no accountability for this at all. And we all know how corrupt they are. I'd be willing to bet that in the best case scenario, the most plausible one for Ukraine is some criminals walked up to a security guard and were like, here's a pile of money. Give us whatever's in the warehouse. He's like, yes, sir. And then they loaded it in a truck. And that was the end of that story.
And notice the only way we know this is because Ukrainian intelligence tells us this.
Yeah. Of course, they have a vested interest in just lying through their teeth. They're probably the ones that sold them the weapons.
Probably. Oh, I would not doubt it at all. Massive says Pence, Ukraine is important, America isn't. I do want to point out that Pence moment where he said that's not my priority. He was not talking about America. He was talking about Ukraine. It just came off very poorly. However, Jack, what is important to note here is that I got a copyright claim on that bullshit.
Yeah, I don't get that, man.
That clip from where he says that, some fucking channel on YouTube has also clipped it and put it on YouTube and fucking claimed my video over it. By the way, I did challenge it and told him it's not even their fucking video.
It's not. It's the Blazes.
It's the Blazes, yeah. And the Blaze seems fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and if they had like done some transformative thing to it, maybe, but they didn't. This is just them saying like we posted it first.
If they had done something transformative and we used their video, which we did not.
No,
so yeah, they can go fuck themselves. I'm tired of this shit. It's starting to happen again. This was a big thing when I first got on YouTube. You've been here a long time.
Yeah.
When I first got onto YouTube, these assholes are running around just copyright claiming all kinds of shit. And they're doing it again, and YouTube needs to get a fucking handle on this shit.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous. There's a lot of people that don't own things that are claiming they do so they could get the ad revenue.
They did that with the what's the name of that game? Medieval Dynasty game. I told you I finally got all those released.
Yeah.
But fuck these guys. I'm sick of this shit. Do I want to listen to this? Do we want to listen to Bobby Kennedy's testimony? It's kind of long. Yeah, I'm not. If his voice was better, no offense. Look, Mr. Kennedy, I know it's not your fault, but I just can't. I can't. What else do I have here? Yeah, I don't care about Ted Lieu. I really don't care about Ted Lieu except to make fun of him.
I think there should be a book called Ted Lieu Stepped in a Poo. And it's a kid's book about him walking down San Francisco trying to dodge needles, and he stepped in some hobo poop, and he feels bad about wiping it off because that hobo, what's all the trouble to poop on the sidewalk?
Yeah. All right. We just have to laugh at this bitch. Twitter Safety said more than 99% of content users and advertisers see on Twitter is healthy. That's not a well-written sentence. And the reach of hate speech on Twitter continues to represent an extremely small fraction of the overall conversation. That's plenty that we need to read there. Because Miss Alexandria Donkey Cortez, she had something to say. She says, I have never experienced more harassment on this platform than I do now. People now pay to give their harassment more visibility. The de-verification of journalists, civic organizations, and figures has made it impossible to follow conversations. I wish it could be usable again. Well,
translation, I'm not special anymore.
Yeah. Oh my God. I actually have to read the stuff that's said to me. Sweetie, you always got people telling you what a dumb twat you were. It was buried because people like, journalists, civic organizations, and figures. I love figures. That's That's so vague. Thank you, Frosted Glass. Little Ted Lou, whose IQ was no more than 2. Oh, that's nice. That's the start of a good Dr. Seuss book on Ted Lou.
And that's why he stepped in poo.
By the way, journalists, civic organizations, and figures could pay $8 and get their little check mark back if they weren't being whiny little bitches about it.
But they'd have to give it to Elon Musk, who they think is now like kind of Hitler.
Let me assure you, all of those journalists out there who I'm not paying $8 a month make a shit ton more than I do. And I can do it, Jack.
Yeah.
So it's their sweetie. Instead of bitching about, you can't see, go tell all these fucking idiots they should get their check marks back. Go pay your $8. Go get boosted. But stop whining that you actually have to see what people say about you instead of it being curated for you by a bunch of partisan shitbags who used to work at Twitter.
She liked it better that way because it was her hug box.
You're not wrong there. Let's see. What else do we have here? Yeah, fuck it. We haven't gotten enough trouble. This one, I like the tweet, so we're going to read it. The COVID climate parallels are uncanny. Extreme fear-mongering. Image manipulation. Speculative models brandished as fact. Everything stated as dogma. Questions denounced as denialism. Mainstream media and big tech in lockstep. Top demand, stop whatever you're doing. Is he wrong?
I think that's a lot of hate facts.
But he's not wrong.
Oh, I don't know. Are we allowed to agree with that or not?
I mean, this is the kind of shit. And for the record, the climate folks have been doing this a lot longer than the COVID folks did.
Well, yeah.
Because this shit's been going on for decades. Do you guys remember the polar bears? They had, I think it was on the cover of Time. They're on these little ice floes and they look like they don't have it. Do you know how those polar bears got there? They swam. Polar bears swim.
What?
And they took these pictures when they've swam out to these little icebergs that are floating out there because they wanted to.
But Sally Struthers wanted me to help save the polar bears.
It was a goddamn lie.
What?
And now they're out there. Oh my God, all the people in Europe are going to die. It's hot. Get some fucking air conditioning. You'll be fine.
Yeah, they should buy some air conditioners, but they
Not
don't have
just-
the power for that.
Say not just buy air conditioners, but they need to set up some nuclear power plants. I know I fuck up nuclear. I'm George Bush in here. I don't care.
Yeah,
They need to buy some nuke power plants.
Nukes? Oh, dude, that's oh, I could hear some hippies' heads exploding.
You know what else they could do? Set up more of them windmills. If you want to go green, set them up all over the place.
I can hear Greta sense tingling. Greta Thunberg is like, somebody is speaking ill of returning to live as the Amish.
And I don't give a shit about people who are making bad choices. Here in Michigan, Jack, they're getting ready to, I can't remember if it's our last nuke power plant or our second to last. They're getting ready to shut it down. Because it's old and it needs shut down based on its lifespan, which is fine, but they're not setting up a new one.
Why would they want to do that?
To help give us power because we need it.
No, they want old people to die.
Nuke is scary, Monk. I know. But we might actually have power.
No, they're holding out for cold fusion.
Have you heard anything about the Barbie movie?
I've heard so many mixed reviews on this. I really don't care about it at all, but I've heard mixed reviews, and that's mostly appears to be just a woke movie about how dumb men are. I don't know. Like I said, lots of contradictory information, mostly leaning in that direction.
I'm just going to read the tweet that goes along with this review from the Wall Street Journal.
Okay.
This is the tweet. Try to imagine the Super Mario Brothers movie as written by someone who not only hates Mario and Luigi, but blames them for highway fatalities, climate change, and gorilla abuse while tossing in Proust references. My Barbie review. Now, I can throw that review into chat if anybody wants to read further. But yeah, that's not exactly a glowing recommendation.
Yeah, that sounds kind of harsh, actually.
Right? And that's coming from a media person who I guarantee you gave some good reviews to other shit. But yeah, so that Barbie movie does not seem. I heard somebody said that there's an actual patriarchy that Ken's trying to bring in. I don't know if that's true.
I saw. Did you see the little singing number that he does?
No.
Where it basically is that he's a beta bitch and Barbie doesn't notice him.
Wow.
It's not easy being like number 2 or something like that. And that's so fucking dumb.
DK says, I heard it was fine. I heard it was shit. I don't care because it was Barbie. All right, let me explain. I have 3 granddaughters. 3. There's a chance I'm going to be exposed to the Barbie movie.
I would say there's a 90% chance you're going to be exposed
to. Unlike the Mario movie, which seriously, Jack, I didn't find anything wrong with it. Peach is smarter than Mario, but Mario's in a brand new place, so he hasn't had a chance to become, super. And he does save the day. He doesn't need Peach to save him, that kind of stuff. That was a fun movie that I didn't have any problems with. Everything I've heard about this Barbie movie,
Yeah, I have zero interest in it. Although I did find it funny, the idea of Oppenheimer crossing over with Barbie, so there was like nuclear bombs going off around the Barbie mansion.
That could be interesting.
That would have been a much better movie. But hey, I'm not in charge of stuff in Hollywood, unfortunately. But yeah, I have less than zero interest in this. There were like 30 animated Barbie movies that were very milquetoast and fine. If you don't like the weird Margot Robbie dance festival, go watch those. I'm sure they're way better.
I've seen many of the animated Barbie movies.
Yeah, well, your daughter's about the right age for some of those, isn't she?
I don't know if I watched any with my daughter, but my granddaughter's watched a ton of them. Little Butt has watched a ton of Barbie movies. Real quick, Comrade Kitty, thank you. Barbie gets a vag and Ken gets beat down because matriarchy after failing to free the Ken dolls. Is that? Look, I honestly don't know what to think about this movie right now.
Yeah, I don't either. It seems like just another piece of garbage churned out by Hollywood. Because even people that are saying that it's not that woke don't seem to love it. Nobody's saying, I love this movie. They're saying, it's okay. Or it was fine. And that's not a glowing review.
Mofo says, I thought Peach was supposed to be smarter than Mario because he's just a Guido plumber. Look, there's one joke in there where he has to go. She tells me he has to go through this obstacle course before they can go on to fight Bowser. And he fails over and over and over again. He gets almost there, but he still fails at the last moment. And then he's sitting with Peach, and he asks her how many times it took her to complete it, and she's like, I don't really want to say. And he goes, it was just one time, wasn't it? That's the most you get of the girl power thing, because she's like, yeah. But it's just a little joke that's thrown in there. It's not like over the top, beat you in the head with how great she is. Because it's a Mario movie, not a Peach movie.
Yeah, but they do that with everything now, like Indiana Jones.
No, I hear you. But like I said, I mean, Mario's the one that saves the day. Him and Luigi are the ones who finally beat Bowser. I did not really have a problem with it. All right.
Real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Do you know what Australia has that most other nations don't? Large reserves of high-quality coal and lots of uranium. You know what they're trying to ban? The coal they're fighting against. And they're fighting against some people trying to go for get nuclear power plants. Yeah, that's not surprising at all. We did the same thing. We have a ton of coal here, and you can't get it out of the ground. They shut all the coal mines down across southern Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky.
All right. For those who didn't see it over on Twitter, for those of you who aren't on Twitter, this is Snowball. She was my companion the whole week as I went outside and smoked. She is a sassy little thing. She talks a lot, Jack.
Probably because she's like, I don't look like a snowball, right?
I did not name her. Somebody said that I was doomed as soon as I named her. I had nothing to do with the naming of this cat.
Yeah, my grandma had a black cat named Snowball. And I was like, huh.
She's not actually black. She's dark brown, and you can only see it when the sun hits her just right. You can kind of see it right there and a little bit in the back. But somebody asked me why it's wet. It rained that morning. I can't help it. Although I will say this, Jack, I forgot how much dew there is in Virginia. You wake up in the morning and everything is wet just from dew. Yeah. She was white before secondhand smoke. Shut up. Do I care about that one? Not. I mean, this. Okay, yeah. I mean, this is CNBC, and they're telling you the worst place to live, right? And Texas is named as one of them. Jack, if you were thinking of the worst places to live, what would you think of?
Worst places to live?
Wait, not cities. What would make it the worst place to live?
Oh, high crime.
Crime, yep.
Smelly people, bums, that sort of thing.
Job opportunities, maybe?
Yeah. Hippies.
Hippies, poor schooling.
Yeah. Bad schools. Let's see. Lack of hospitals.
Yeah,
medical resources.
Yes, there are enormous economic opportunities in Texas, and it is attracting people from far and wide. But this state also has some Texas-sized issues when it comes to life, health, and inclusion. And it is one of the reasons that the state fell out of the overall top 5 for the first time in 16 years. Strengths, no metrics in the top 25. Weaknesses, reproductive rights, health, voting rights, worker protections, and inclusiveness.
Filled with illegal immigrants who are going to probably steal all the shit that isn't nailed down.
Like, look, if you go to Texas, they're not inclusive of your bullshit, and they might not let you kill babies. This is what CNBC came up with for why Texas sucks to live in.
Yeah, that says a lot about CNBC.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it really? Yeah, but that's what people care about for the moment. We'll see what happens later. About this guy.
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Did I
you
fade out?
You said and then you got real quiet.
Oh,
I thought you took a nap.
No, I was just. Oh, is that tweet gone? It's gone. Damn it.
And it's gone.
Unfortunately, we're just gonna have to talk about it. It was this post written somewhere. I have no idea where. By this guy who said he had been working a new shift late at night. So him and his lady friend, they couldn't get together, carnally the way they normally do. And she was upset because she likes the fornication. Right?
Uh-huh. Yay.
So one day she wakes him up with some fellatio. You see how nice I'm being about all this?
Mm-hmm.
She fillets him awake, and he wakes up and he's like, oh my God, you are overstepping my boundaries.
So he's gay.
Well, no, because he tells her she's overstepping his boundaries, and then he starts to think about it, and he realizes he really liked it. And now he doesn't know how to tell her that he really liked it.
So she thinks he's gay.
she probably think, well, I mean, gay men like blowjobs.
Yeah, but not from women folk. Maybe
Mm.
she stuck her cooter in his face or something.
And I simply said, what the fuck have we done to men?
They've destroyed them.
You're waking up to a blowjob and you liked it, and you're like, oh my God, my boundaries.
It hurt my feelings that we didn't talk about it first and you didn't hold me and tell me I'm pretty. Shut up. God.
By the way, I was called a rapist for my view on this. I want to point out he liked it. As far as I know, most rape victims don't like it.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody say they were raped and then like, oh, but I really liked it. No,
I wish they'd
don't
do it
say
again.
that. Yeah, that's just well, I mean, that one crazy lady on TV, Eugene Carroll, said it was sexy, but I don't think she was really raped either.
You ever woke up to a blowjob and been mad about it, Jack?
Nope.
Now, somebody said if it wasn't my wife or girlfriend, this was his girlfriend.
Yeah, that's. I mean, don't move the goalpost, people.
As a man, I cannot imagine waking up to a blowjob and being upset by it. I don't understand that.
I'd be more like, "What'd you do? Wreck the car while I was sleeping?"
And then somebody else was like, "Oh, well, if you were performing cunnilingus on a woman when she was sleeping, that would be rape." Look, I realize that's the standard talking point around here, but it really does depend on you and your woman.
Yeah. Is
Some
she a
women would
bitch
like
or
that.
not?
Yeah.
Oh, real fast before this gets too far away. Thank you, Keldrick. Clearly, that cat is abused. Well treated, never associate with horrible right wingers like Monkey. Eufio says so, and I definitely trust him.
Yeah. That dude's an idiot. Okay, guys, if you are one of these boundary idiots, just tell your woman, hey, anytime you want to, you can wake me up with a blowjob.
Make sure she signs a consent form first.
I think she feels rejected. That gives bad self-esteem and wonder also why he react like that. If it's not his moment, he should say when is time. Yeah, I'm sure that really hurt her self-esteem. Because she's doing a job, Jack. And
well, it kind of depends how he said it. Like, hey, boundaries, fatso. Then it's a little different than, hey, I'm uncomfortable with this.
I hear you, but how bad does the blowjob have to be that you stop it?
Maybe she is like Snaggleteeth or something.
I guess if he smacked her in the forehead and said no, that would be even harsher. But how bad does it have to be that you're like, nah, stop that shit?
Yeah, I think I need to see pictures of his girlfriend first.
There's that. Well, he bangs her on the reg, so it's not too bad for him.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he wants it again, so it's not that issue. So it's just him being this fucking pussy ass shit that we have going on now, where it's like, oh, if you were sleeping, it's rape. I understand that argument. I do. But as a man, anytime my wife wants to wake me up with a blowjob, I'm okay with it. I don't care if I've only been asleep 30 minutes and I've been awake for 4 days. Be like, oh yeah, you do that. Knock yourself out. I'm gonna rest here while you do. I'm not getting on top if that helps. Just to let you know, not today. But this is the nonsense we've done. It's the nonsense we've done to people. Jack, you ever woke up with a woman actually on top of you?
In a sexual way or trying to murder me?
Sexual way.
Oh, yes.
Did you get mad and be like, you raped me?
No. I did get mad when I got a girlfriend that was trying to strangle me while I slept.
And that's
a different story.
That's fine. Yeah, that's expected.
Yeah. But even that, I was kind of like, are we having foreplay or are you legitimately trying to hurt me here? So, yeah, no. If she's like waking you up for some sexy time and she's not like disturbingly large, then yeah, it wouldn't upset me. But I'm not a beta bitch pussy boy like some of these
Yeah.
crybabies online are.
Vol says, I think communication was key, in this case was key. Usually falling back on implied consent between lovers is the most healthy method. Yeah, this whole implied consent thing. See, this goes into I don't think communication is key. I think men being men is key. And typically as a man, your woman's how do I say, servicing your junk, you're okay with it. You're like, yeah, please don't let me stop you. Who complains about being woken up for oral for either sex? Well, women today, because they're taught that that's rape. And she can wake up and go, nah, not right now. And you're like, oh, all right, no big deal. But now it's like, oh my God, I got to call the cops.
Yeah, the rape culture we've developed is phantom rape.
Oh God, yeah.
Real quick, thank you, Frosted Glass. Hey, Jack, want to invest in my new line of greeting cards? They're all different reactions to getting blowjobs. Most of them are thank you cards, but the congrats on your promotion one sells really nicely too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's fair. We call that the Kamala special.
It's just look, when it comes to men and women are different. I can't speak for them. But as a man, I honest to God cannot imagine being woke up with any kind of sex with my partner and being upset about it. Being like, how dare you?
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't have to be like, there would have to be a reason why I was upset about it. Like, we're in the middle of a breakup kind of thing. And like, I told you not to come in my house anymore, weirdo.
Yeah, we've decided on divorce. I've got the papers to say you're not allowed within 1,000 feet of me. All right, sure. But otherwise,
yeah, restraining orders really are a dampener on your sex life. I'm just saying.
I just can't believe it. And being called a rapist for being a man who likes blowjobs was weird.
Well, there's some really weird people out there that apparently have never had blowjobs.
One dude told me it's just because my partner withholds sex from me. What?
That's why you have all those kids.
What are you talking about? That's why she made me take the bullets out of the gun? Okay. Fuck off. Reason number 1, leg cramp. Reason number 2, I got nothing. Fair enough. But even then, it's not, I'm mad about the blowjob. Like, let me get this cramp out. Don't move. I'll be right back.
I got Charlie horse I got to deal with real quick.
Yeah, loosen up them jaws because we're going to be here for just a little bit. All right. Yeah, it just, to me, Jack, it seems like we've completely ruined men. When men are pulling that bullshit of it was my boundary. You got a blowjob and you're talking boundaries?
There's a lot of people that have yet to accept that we live in a demasculinized society.
We do. What about kids in the room? Again, see, that's moving the goalpost. There's no talk of kids in this thing. So I guess in that, but in that instance, I think that's when you throw her out. She's trying to blow you with kids in the room.
Yeah, probably. The scenario is that you woke up and you're a couple and she is performing oral sex on you when you're alone in the bedroom. There's no mention of any other people there. No mention of anything else like she's a stalker or something like that. No, just you're a couple and you wake up to your partner performing oral sex on you.
Filleting you, yeah.
Yeah.
Travis Gardner, thank you. Only time I would be upset by being woke up with a blowjob is if I don't remember asking her over. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm in a relationship with a chick and she has a key, obviously, of some sort, and she comes over and that's how she wakes me up, I'd be like, good morning, get out. But finish what you're doing and then get the hell out. I would let her finish, Jack.
Yeah.
I like fellatio. Receiving. I've never tried the performing part, and from eating a banana, I'm not really wanting to try it.
Yeah. Pro tip: it's women don't find it funny when you say, you blow just like your twin sister.
Or your mom.
Yeah, yeah.
You do
They
that
get
tongue
real
thing
slow.
just like your mom. What if she wakes you up that way, then serves you a subpoena? I'm all right with it. I
Yeah,
got
I mean, well,
blown.
you got
I mean,
served.
what part of getting blown are y'all missing? What? How bad are the blowjobs you guys are getting?
Well, you've
Jack,
seen feminists, so
Jack, some chick wakes you up and goes to completion with fellatio, and then she's like, "Here's you're served." Are you going to be more upset by that or just getting served?
I don't know. I'll be asleep by then.
Yeah, I'd be like, all right, throw that shit on the nightstand and leave.
Get out, bitch.
Get out, bitch. We're done. All right, let's move along because we've been on the fellatio a little more than I meant to be.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's never happened. Double
Research-
service.
Researchers cry fascism after students mock their identity survey. They should have mocked your identity survey.
Did you hear about this?
No.
Oh, that's funny.
A team of woke researchers at Oregon State University is crying fascism after they appeared to break mentally when students mocked their identity survey with responses like ethnic gift card and attack helicopter. The aggravated academics cried out that fascist ideologues are living inside the house. Oh my God.
They're
Dragon Mage,
inside
thank
the
you.
house.
Thank you, Dragon Mage. Can a ex-president be a vice president? Yeah. He just can't be president again. Unless he's, only served 4 years. Is it? Where are we? Inside the House of Engineering and Computer Science, according to a report citing, sorry, man, I don't mean to be yawning. A report citing the researchers' finding in the Bulletin of Applied Transgender Studies. That's a thing?
Yeah.
The Bulletin of Applied Transgender Studies. How do we have transgender studies? We haven't had enough to study until the last 5 years.
And to be fair, as inappropriate as it may sound, isn't it a good idea to call it a bulletin when you have like a 40% number?
Maybe not.
Yeah. Call it a journal, for God's sake, you lazy fucks.
They were shocked when they were inundated with mockery and sarcasm after they attempted to research the nature of the undergraduate LGBTQ community within, I added the Q. I'm just used to it. The LGBT community within the STEM fields, according to the researchers. Well, I'm going to help you out.
They did this to
there.
a bunch of science and math nerds, and they expected not to get sarcasm.
You're
Really?
You're not gonna have many at all because they're researching. They're busy.
Yeah, they're doing real shit. Or playing D&D, and they don't have time for your nonsense. Take that shit to the humanities.
At least 50 of the 349 responses they received had, quote, slurs, hate speech, or direct targeting of the research team. I want to read these, Jack.
Yeah, look, slurs, hate speech, whatever. They're being funny. My problem with this is they only had 349.
Yeah.
That's first of all, the 50 of that, those are good numbers. Good job, college kids. But holy shit, you got like no responses. That's a garbage study to begin with.
Well, excuse me, I'm so sorry. It depends on which aspect of the what they call it STEM fields that they were doing there at Oregon State. You know what I mean?
I guess, but still 350 responses is nothing for one of these. They should have thousands.
Well, again, it depends on how big it is. I don't know how big their how big are their math and science departments there at Oregon State. I would imagine that they're a lot smaller than, say, like your gender studies bullshit.
Well, yeah, that's true. But surprisingly, this was Oregon too. So,
and it might have been that they were only going, and I'm not trying to make excuses for them, but like only going for kids who had already been there for 4 years, or just the incoming class. An incoming STEM field of 350 is not bad for a state college. Thanks for going with me on that. All right.
yeah.
Where are we?
Got
Students who
distracted.
sent these in were deemed malicious respondents, and the woke researchers harnessed their hurt feelings to change their study and look into how these responses, quote, relate to engineering culture by framing them within larger social context, namely the rise of online fascism. Oh yeah, this was just engineering, right?
I think so.
Well, I mean, they changed it. I swear we read engineering earlier, and then it said STEM fields. So, in the end, they produced a work titled "Attack Helicopters and White Supremacy." You didn't say anything about what. Anyway, interpreting malicious responses to an online questionnaire about transgender undergraduate engineering and computer science students' experiences. Yeah. So, yeah. The work detailed how, when they were asked to submit demographic information, 12 respondents, 24%, indicated their gender as being related to a helicopter or aircraft, including an Apache attack helicopter and a V-22 Osprey. All right, good
Now,
for
to
y'all.
be fair, if you're an Apache, that means you're a Native American, right?
They're being kind of anti native, I guess.
They probably stole their land too. They're anti-indigenous.
When asked what disabilities they suffer from, malicious students responded by saying, "My country is run by communists," and that transgenderism is a disability because of the inability to come to terms with biological reality. They're not wrong.
You asked a bunch of engineering students this. Come on. STEM people have senses of humor. Sometimes they're dry and not terribly funny, but they have them. And they're internet people.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about engineering and computer science students in 2023. These kids grew up on the internet. I'm an ethnic gift card. I don't even know what that means. One student said, "I don't have enough gift cards." That's funny. Some respondents trashed the very notion of the survey. Quote, "My skin color is not important," according to one respondent. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, I'm like Zartan. My skin tone changes as needed. Thank you.
There's another quote. "Come on, man. These questions are stupid. Everyone is a grab bag of genetics from all over the world," another said. I mean, again, not wrong. What else do you want to know? What I ate for breakfast? One student asked. This question is unnecessary. The research team was clearly hurt by the responses and reported having their morale and mental health profoundly impact. Wait, you see, this is the difference between the STEM fields and the, what was it? Hang on, I want to make sure I get this right. The Bulletin of Applied Transgender Studies. The people who responded to this deal in actual science and actual math.
Yeah.
Things that are quantifiable. What you deal in is, my feelings were hurt.
And that's exactly what happened to him too. I'm reminded of that movie. What is it? Kung Fu Hustle, with the lady that goes, "Ooh, ooh, 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 ooh."
One individual was, quote, "already in therapy for anxiety and depression regarding online anti-trans rhetoric," end quote. And another quote, "managing the study's data collection caused significant personal distress, and time had to be taken off the project to heal from traumatic harm," end quote, of having to read the students' responses in the survey.
Oh,
Wait,
pow.
you you needed to take time off because people made some jokes. You're not a scientist, you're a fucking joke. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, you can't get that personally involved in stuff, and you have to realize, okay, this is a joke response. Let's either set it aside, or we have to stipulate that, and it's not going to impact our research. Instead, they're like, "Oh my god,
Well-
my feelings!" This is all emotional nonsense. These people are shit scientists.
Well, the one person up here who said that transgenderism is a disability because of the inability to come to terms with biological reality. That's just true.
Yeah.
Online memes associated with white nationalist and fascist movements were presented throughout the data alongside memes and content referencing gaming and nerd culture, according to the researchers. I want to read these papers.
I absolutely want to read these papers because it's going to be hilarious. First of all, like I said, they're online nerds. You got a bunch of people that are probably sitting around their D&D group going, "Did you fill out this survey yet?" "No, I thought we could do it together. It'd be funny."
As I said, these are people who deal in data, and you are dealing in your emotions, as seen by the fact that you had to take time off. I don't want to get into the transgender thing again. I'm sure we'll do it shortly because it always pops up in the news. But you're not real. You don't have to like it, but you do need to acknowledge it. It would make it a lot easier, and you wouldn't have to take time off when people point it out. Frosted Glass, thank you. Research day 1. I'm taking my science and going home. Basically, yeah. I do want to point out just one more time, Jack, that this is why I like Buck Angel. Buck Angel is an old school trans person. This female to male trans. And Buck will tell you flat out, no, I'm not a woman. This is just something that helps me deal with the dysphoria. I'm not a woman. I'm not a man. I'll never be a man. This is all costume. And at least he's honest about it. And in order to get to a place where you can deal with your dysphoria, I think you have to be honest about it to begin with.
Yeah.
Knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe taught me that. Just saying. G.I. Joe.
Well, if you can't admit the reality of it, you're never going to come to terms with it.
True. All right. Fuck, why am I yawning so much, man?
6:40 in the morning.
Yeah, but I got decent sleep last night. I went to bed at like 7. I woke up at 3. That's what, 7 hours?
I don't do math. That's not why I'm hired here.
8 hours, because it's 5 hours until midnight. I got 8 hours of sleep last night. This is bullshit. All right. Finally tonight, guys, we have a CNBC story talking about, speaking of those assholes earlier. We talked about them just briefly.
Indeed.
FTX lobbyist tries to buy Pacific island of Nauru. Did I say that right?
Doesn't matter.
To create a new super species, lawsuit says. Well, that would never blow up in our faces.
I mean, how could it?
What we really need is super species. Froggy, yes. Like the stream for the algorithm. Guys, please like the stream. On both platforms, you can do it. Consider donating to Jack or myself. The link is in the description of both and in the at the top of your YouTube chat. We are brought to you by you. Give us money. And please tell your friends, your family, and that bitch you hate. Get them here watching. Tell them Monkey is back. Come check it out. Monkey and Jack are here saying horrible things, and you never know when it's going to happen. So watch the whole show.
It's true.
All right. Gabe Bankman-Fried, the younger brother of FTX founder, tried to buy the island nation of Nauru, a Delaware lawsuit alleges. Fuck this. Let's read the story instead. Sam Bankman-Fried's younger brother, who was a top lobbyist for failed crypto exchange FTX, considered purchasing the island nation of Nauru in the Pacific to create a fortified apocalypse. Wait. You were going to create a super species where you were making your apocalypse bunker. Do you not see how these two go together?
Shh, don't tell him.
Apparently,
you did pronounce it right. Evolve said.
Oh, sweet. I don't do that very often. A lawsuit filed in Delaware bankruptcy court shows Gabe Bankman-Fried was looking to buy Nauru in the event where 50 to 99.9% of people die to protect his philanthropic allies and create a genetically enhanced human species. Just by having him there?
But I imagine there's some science involved.
I saw the chick you guys were passing around. You ain't making a genetically enhanced anything with that.
Well, no, I think they were going to use test tubes and stuff like that. Not trying to use their own genetics for this.
That chick looked like Beetlejuice when he had the long nose.
Dangerous said that Nauru is where they kept the illegal immigrants.
Oh, all right. No wonder we wouldn't sell it. Now, look, I'm not saying I wouldn't bang that weird little thing that they had there if I was one of their geeks and that was the only chick around. But it's because it was the only chick around.
She was kind of a dirty whore, so.
Yeah. She let you put it in her hard drive and her other hard drive.
Yeah, you got to inspect the whole cabinet. Yeah, Keister, it is the story of Jurassic Park.
Do you think they sat around talking about which way they got to bang her?
Probably.
According to the suit filed Thursday by attorneys, blah, blah, blah. Bunker life is a well-documented fixation tech among tech billionaires, particularly those who identify as doomsday preppers. Did he?
Yeah, this guy was some kind of doomsday prepper. I wish I was rich enough to be a doomsday prepper.
But he identify as that.
I will keep reading.
Because it says particularly.
Bless you.
Sorry. I did not get to the thing. Will you talk for a second?
Yeah. Monkey's got some snot, bonus drive. Yeah, did she have an external drive is what I want to know.
Into her slave drive. I didn't have snot. It was my throat went really dry on that sneeze. I don't know why. I had to get a drink. There's also a fascination with buying large estates in the Pacific and even owning small islands there. In this year's running, FTX, the elder Bankman-Fried brother, touted a philanthropic lifestyle called effective altruism, which is nonsense. If you guys see people talking about that, it's bullshit. You'll notice these fuckers never give away their money.
No, real philanthropic people usually do it anonymously.
Yeah, the whole idea behind effective altruism is that you won't save any of your money, you'll give it all away, and they never do.
No, of course not.
Ever. Anyway, and established a philanthropic arm with that in mind. Devotees of effective altruism work to maximize their income so they can give away their money in a fashion they see as most beneficial to humankind, which means they never give it away. Thank you, Metal Minister. Finally caught up after listening on 2x speed. Monk and Jack both sound sleepy or high as fuck. Good to see you back. Thanks for coming back and joining us. Thank you so much for the donation.
I'm running on caffeine, dude. I've been up for 27 hours-ish.
Yeah, but do you ever do that? Listen to somebody at 2x and then you catch up and suddenly they sound like They are sleepy.
That's why I stopped listening to people on 2.5 or 2 times speed, because it sounds weird hearing them normal. The exception being like the gross people like Amberlynn Reed and Chantel, because then you have to listen to them because they talk too slowly. Normally, like they sound like they're at 0.5 speed all the time.
I rarely listen to something at 2x, or I never listen to 2x. I do. Is Beast Boy still here? When he's live and I catch up to him, sometimes I'm not quite sure what he's talking about, so I'll go back a little bit and I will listen to him on 1x speed. Or sorry, 1.1x speed. Shut the fuck up, monkey. 1.5 speed. And then when it catches up, yeah, it just sounds a little different. Keldrick, thank you. Good people who share their money rarely talk about sharing their money. Well, here's the thing with these guys. They're not actually sharing their money. I hear what you're saying, but their whole idea is I'm going to get really rich so I can give the money away. And that makes people go, "Oh, well, I'll invest with you or I'll buy from you because you're going to give the money away." I don't understand why that would be any reason for somebody to give some shit away.
Yeah, it
Why?
sounds like you're irresponsible with your money, and I don't trust you
Yeah.
with mine. You just get throw that money away, you dumb fuck.
You can easily take that money and put it into a trust, and every year the dividends from it will go to X charity. You can do that while you're still making money.
Yeah.
They never do.
No, why would they want to do that? It doesn't get as much social credit play. Real quick though, thank you, random.
Oh, go ahead.
Thank you, random chimp, for that feminist donation. This is how we rise up. Huzzah! I mean,
There you go. But what they do is things like what was done here. Sam Bankman-Fried gives a bunch of money to Gabe Bankman-Fried to set up a philanthropic organization, I guess is the word, so that they can think of things that maybe one day they'll do with the money. Okay. Anyway, in this year's running FTX, the elder brother, sorry, we did that. Devotees of this, we already read that. Gabe Bankman-Fried was FTX's most visible presence in Washington, D.C. and was connected to bipartisan charitable. Fuck you. Fuck you. Who wrote this shit? What am I reading? This is from CNBC. I knew that. Why didn't I remember it?
Because you, like everybody else, you forget that CNBC exists.
The majority of that shit went to Democrats. Stop it. Bipartisan charitable donations that ran into the hundreds of millions, along with an unnamed philanthropic officer of FTX. He considered buying Nauru in part to foster sensible regulation around human genetic enhancement. For real?
Mm-hmm.
Sensible regulation. Eugenics?
Yep.
We want to make sure they're all blonde and blue-eyed. Sensible regulation around human genetic enhancement and build a lab there. A representative for Nauru confirmed the island nation was not and has never been for sale. Nauru, with a population of about 12,000, is a little over 2,100 miles away from Brisbane, Australia. Or do you guys say it Brisbane? I don't know how you fucking Australians pronounce your places weird.
I think it's pronounced Brisbane, but still, that's way too close to the mainland. You want to get it a little further out for your genetic experiments going unnoticed, you know? Real quick, though, thank you, Evolved Potato. I don't know how you'd even buy Nauru. It's an independent country in the state of Micronesia. It's not like it's a bigger country that owns them. What would happen to the 13,000 people that live on the island?
Well,
they would get liquidated, apparently.
Most likely, the money would go to pay off any debts they had and then given out to the people. That's it. But they said no anyway. Man, they wanted. And look, I realize they're saying a lab, Jack, but let's be quite honest about what this motherfucker was talking about. He's talking about eugenics.
Oh, absolutely. Or a sex cult, one of the two.
Yeah.
I'm leaning toward eugenics, but
with the way that was written, I'm leaning towards eugenics. But you're right. It could be a sex cult.
Yeah, either way, there's going to be a massacre of some kind.
Either way, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's the sex cult, just stay away from the Kool-Aid. You might be okay.
Yeah,
have a canoe ready to head to the mainland.
Yeah, at least mix it up, like poison the flavored condoms.
So, Jack, there's one more thing we got to talk about. You mentioned the video from Jeremy.
Yes,
I watched it. I watched
Why?
all of it. It took me 3 sittings to get through the whole thing.
It didn't seem like an ad.
It did. I had some severe candid flashbacks.
Yep, that's what I thought too. Or BetterHelp.
Well, BetterHelp, I don't know if you know this, they've actually cleaned up and they're still around.
Yeah, but in the early days.
Early days.
Yeah, they had that little scandal. Not quite as bad as Candid did. Oh, thank you, Keldrick. Hold on, they're on to something. If everyone is blue-haired and blue eyes, everyone benefits from white privilege. Equality achieved. I don't think that's what they... well, that's probably what they actually mean, but not quite what their messaging says.
Yeah. Sorry, Frosted said he's just going to add butts to everything like in South Park. Okay. 4-assed monkey. Yeah. The Jeremy thing. It's an app for your phone where you go to the store and you scan the product and it'll tell you whether it's woke or not.
Yeah, I've actually seen a couple of commercials for this where somebody scans tampons. I don't know. I don't know if it was an official commercial or just somebody talking about it. I tend to ignore things where there's tampons involved.
Well, he brings up the tampons in there, which is kind of interesting considering you said elsewhere. The tampons being that one of them is woke and the other isn't. I don't use tampons, so I don't care. But it'll give you a score on how woke it is. And as you pointed out in our DMs, I hope you don't mind me sharing.
I don't give a shit.
It can be used for the opposite too. You can go see just how woke they are.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't come up with that. That was Suit Yourself that said that.
Well,
and I had to agree with that.
Jeremy points it out in this video. Because this isn't just an anti-woke thing. You can set it up for however you want.
Yeah.
If you prefer to see things that are woke, it'll put that at the top for you. Now, what bothered me about watching the Jeremy thing is he clearly had not read it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was obvious he was going in cold. Like, he's like, I'm going to make a video on this. Prepare. What?
We occasionally do that live here, Jack.
Yeah, but it's pretty rare for us.
Yeah, and for the record, guys, like when I read a story that Jack gives me, he's already read the story.
Yeah, I fuck around, but
that's
I've
why
already read it.
You'll hear me often ask, is there more to this that I need to read?
Yeah.
That's because we come in prepared.
Yeah, I do a lot of reading around this time of day. So I bookmark stories that I think are going to be interesting for the show later that night. So it's been a few hours since I've read it, but I have read the articles.
And like the other day, watching the Pence thing, sometimes you just get that feeling that's going to be good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There are things that we've been doing this long enough. You could just be like, oh, this ought to be funny.
And sometimes it's not. And about halfway through, you're like, all right, fuck this. It's not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just clearly had not read anything. Just going in, guys, there's a woke app.
Yeah, I've done that with some news articles when I'm doing a live stream, but it's really rare for me.
Frosted says that's how I pick corner articles. Well, on your show, you guys are mostly doing Medium articles, and those are kind of predictable that they're going to be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's like reading from the Root. You could just like, oh, the Root's probably racist and hates white people.
Yeah.
Medium, well, it's woke. Yeah.
But this thing, it really does seem like he says over and over again that he didn't get paid by them, which, okay, I believe you, I guess. But it really did come off like the candid thing, like, guys, this woke thing that'll help you, this anti-woke thing. I mean, if you guys want to get that, that's fine. I don't care. They give a score based on things. I think it was Ben and Jerry's they scan, and it gives a 20, which the lower the score, the more woke they were. How is Ben and Jerry's only a 20? What the fuck is a 5?
Yeah, no shit. Because Ben and Jerry's is one of the most woke companies out there.
Yeah. But I don't remember the name of it. I don't really care. You guys can check it out. And I suppose I should put his video in here, huh?
Yeah, I don't care.
We're talking about it. I should give him credit. He'll name it right at the beginning. So if you don't want to watch the whole thing, you don't really have to. This one. No, that's me. That's me giving you the link. It's not that one. All right. It's this one here. Shut up, Jeremy. I'm not watching. I'm just grabbing your link. There you go. So you guys can watch this, and it'll give you your breakdown on whether your shit is woke.
Kind of a rambling mess, honestly.
Do you pay that much attention to whether your shit is woke or not?
No.
Me neither.
I'm poor. I don't buy that much stuff.
I buy based on what I can afford.
Yeah, the only thing I really do screen more is the comics that I read, because I'm not paying them $4 for a woke book if I can avoid it.
You know, I would say that with movies, but that's a little different than like buying tampons. We don't use tampons, but something that you just use real quick and throw away. When you're consuming entertainment, that's a little different.
Yeah, no, my day-to-day stuff, I don't pay attention to that shit.
Yeah.
I like a specific brand of toilet paper. I buy that just out of habit because I'm old. Yeah, I don't pay attention to like, does my Reynolds wrap, is it woke enough?
Right.
I better check. No, I don't wipe my ass with Reynolds wrap. Don't be stupid.
Real quick, your boy Pat says, quartering takes forever to get to the point. By the time he does, 3/4 of the video is over. I will say this with that video. It is worth it to watch into the video. You guys can decide how far, but just to get to the extra stuff that this app does, this is what gets into the anti-woke stuff, Jack, where you can actually set it up that way. If you're anti-woke, you can set it up so, hey, Ben and Jerry's is the best thing ever. All right. Just saying. And Jeremy, read the fucking articles before you go live, dude.
Yeah, it takes like 10 minutes, man.
And yeah, often less. And it'll give you a good way to, know what the fuck you're talking about. I should have put him on. Every time I put him in the thumbnail, we do really well with the video.
Yeah, because people probably think that we're raising awareness for homeless people.
Why does he look like seriously, he looks like if you go back to the 80s and any movie where somebody went into a truck stop, he's the trucker that's sitting there eating some pie that's going to give somebody some trouble.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I told you, he's the truck driver that will cause a pileup and be like, I don't know what happened.
We didn't experience any bad truck drivers on our drive, Jack. You know what every truck said, though? Every semi said, we are hiring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that going around.
Tons of hiring. So if you guys want a job, become a truck driver. Jack, we're going to wrap up here. I want to do a game stream. I think I'm going to try to get a 7 Days to Die stream in, and then go play some Diablo 4 offline. I wish I could play that shit online, but with my internet setup, I just can't. Thank you guys for joining us. Really do appreciate all of the donations. Fuck. I hate when words won't come to my mouth. My brain's like, this will be funny. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for all of the welcome backs. And I missed you guys as well. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop a link to a cool video. But as always, thank you so much for the donations. You guys are awesome. And thanks to everybody that came out to my streams while Monkey was gone. Had a fair amount of fun doing them. So, yeah. Thank you guys for all the support you give us. It's greatly appreciated. And Monkey, glad to have you back.
I'm glad to be back, my friend. I would have come to your streams, but like I said, I actually slept.
No, you're on vacation.
I don't know how to deal with that. Yeah, but last time I was on vacation, I was up every morning at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's not how vacation's done.
So I would sit outside smoking and watching YouTube most of the time.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Kitty Cat this time.
Kitty Cat was with me last time.
Oh yeah.
I just slept this time, so I was waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you were done.
Yeah.
Or everybody was awake, and when everybody's awake, like I said, the only time I go on is when I'm having a cigarette. So, guys, I will be over on here. I was about to say Twitch. Nope. I'm going to be here on the YouTube's channel is Ranting Monkey Games. It is linked in the description. Hit the like button on the way out if you have not done so. Tell your friends, your family that bitch you hate. Get them here watching. They can watch in I was going to say reverse. No. In later.
They can watch in later.
They can watch in later.
They can watch the replay.
Yeah, replay. That's the word. They can watch replay. Thank you guys so much. Take care of yourselves. We'll see y'all next. Jack, thank you for joining me.
Oh yeah, I was glad to be here.
Yes, Frosted. I hope you all wake up with blowjobs. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
This is the end of the show song. You haven't heard one in so long. If you want something pretty, look at my dong.